insane? Is it possible? Still I ask myself, are we in our game? It's not logical, but you contemplate, are we am I?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game we've all been waiting for. After the game we've all been waiting for. Florida and Boston, 2-1. This has been a really, really good game. Boston came out on fire. Now they're in front. Pasternak. Oh, he just almost scored. You know what? Whatever. We're going to string the last game, this last part of the game together. 3:24 in the third. So if you're watching along, let's just jump into Florida Boston here, because we could be seeing an elimination potentially if Florida can turn it around in the next couple of minutes here. What's up, guys? I hope everybody's doing good. Late night crew. I hope you're ready. I hope you're caffeinated. I hope you're fired up and excited. There's a lot going on. We're going to have, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Producer Hayden put together a really cool stat pack for you. So you're going to have some crazy former Vancouver Canuck goaltender names in a second here. We got a whole bunch of stuff lined up for you. Obviously, Calvin Pickard is starting tonight. Carson Soucy is out. We got some stats about him and his absence that if you're a Vancouver Canuck fan and you're fretting about it, you may not feel so bad. So we'll tell you all about that in a bit. But we got 3:18 left in the third period between Boston and Florida. Florida has come roaring back in the third period here, at least play-wise, but they just have not been able to put a goal in. Anyway, hi. How's everybody tonight? We having a good time? Are we loving Montgomery? It's a dive. I love the drama of this series, although I did get tricked by an an AI press conference with Montgomery where he calls Pat Maroon Fat Pat. And I was like, wow, he just met the guy. I guess, I mean, it's hockey. That seems like a nickname. Anyway, I guess I'm a dummy. I am a dummy. But you're hanging out with me. We can be dummies together. So looking through so much depth in Vancouver, so little time. Yeah, I'm actually excited for Vancouver's lineup tonight because they're gonna have to figure some things out. I loved Nikita Zadorov getting spicy with the media too. Got to protect the investment with Connor McDavid. Now, here's what I need to know. Do you think Florida ties this up? Because I believe Boston just took a penalty. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh no. Just an icing. Florida's pulled the goalie. 3:05. I will give you a clap. Here we go. There we go. Out to the point. Reinhart with a shot. It's turned over by Boston. Is that going to? No, that's going to be down the ice, but off of a Florida Panther player. Listen, this isn't the game I was expecting to be doing. But damn, this is a great game. Florida can't get established in the offensive zone here. Jeremy Swayman's done a great job shutting the door, but I have to be honest, Florida needed to be better in the first two periods, and they just weren't. Boston with that old grizzled, no, we're not going to go down easy vet sort of thing. And Florida needed to do better. They should be winning this at home tonight in front of their fans. If they don't win tonight, they got to go to Boston. They got to ship off to Boston. Listen to that crowd at TD Garden. You know how loud it can be there. 2:14 left in the third period. Here we go. Florida established. No shots yet, though. Verhaeghe off of... Oh! Montour with a little backhand. Swayman somehow saw that. This is a good little warm-up. This is good. This is good. How are we doing tonight, everybody? How are we doing? Tell me in the chat. You think Boston's winning in regulation? Here we go. All right, okay, if anybody ties this game, who ties it and when? If there is a tie, Florida's taking their timeout. Damn. See, I'm trying to watch the Edmonton feed, and I can't. Because it's 9:50 the game has been moved to. Ooh. Man, Swayman was good. He's good tonight. Richard Trefino. Boston is going to do the reverse 2023. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Aaron Grace, comeback Cats with a Bennett goal prediction. Does he punch the puck in the mouth before it goes in? Because it is Sam Bennett. He's got to punch it. We got a Reinhart prediction. We got a Montour prediction. We got a very interesting spelling of Verhaeghe. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't spell Verhaeghe either, so I'm not going to chirp you about it. But I know that's not how you spell it. Brock Besser, Juleson is ready to goon it up. I'm ready for Juleson to goon it up. It's going to be a good time in Vancouver tonight. Or I guess it's going to be in Edmonton. PWHL elimination game, Montreal, Boston, third straight OT. That series has been bonkers. Bonkers. I hope Natalie Spooner's okay, by the way. If we get a Boston-Toronto final in the PWHL, that is going to be nuts. Toronto-Montreal will be crazy too, but just given what's happened lately with the men's side, it will be it'll be extra interesting if it's Boston. Okay, we're thinking we got a Kachuk in the last minute prediction. Verhaeghe gets it all set up. Oh, Lindholm with the Florida is not getting set up in the zone. Boston is all over them. Douglas, we're already asking Mitch Marner questions, Douglas. All right, there's a minute 12 left in the third, Paul Douglas. I will get back to you. But we got to look at this. We got to watch this. Mitch Marner trade proposals. My goodness. My goodness. Here we go. Florida's got it. Oh, they give it away. Okay, we're in the last minute. Anybody who predicted a tying goal in the last minute, this is your time. Pasternak clears the puck. It's going to be an icing, though. Oof. Ooh. Here we go. All right. So we've got, I'm going to give you a little clap here if we can align streams. It's still so weird to me that TD sponsors Boston. TD as in Toronto Dominion. Toronto Dominion Bank. It's weird. Verhage. Okay. Oh, Boston gets it again. 30 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen. Can Florida do this? It doesn't look like they're going to. They just cannot get set up. And we got another icing. 20 seconds to go. You're going to be chewing some nails here. You're going to be chewing some nails. Man, Paul Maurice and Jim Montgomery tonight have been the two most entertaining people on the ice. Oh, he's saying F you to the ref. Wow. Some good lip reading there, buddy. 20.2 seconds to go. Are we ready? I'm going to give you a clap here to start. Here we go. Reinhart to the point. 13 seconds to go. Woo! Oh, what a save! What a save, Swayman! He saves the game. Wow! Swayman just saved Boston's season. Woo! Baby. You know, I thought it was going to be fight night in Florida. Turned out to be a pretty intense, even, well, not really even. Let's be honest. Florida got outplayed pretty bad in the first two periods. Wow. Reinhart, that's the guy you want. That's the guy you want with that puck. Dude. Wow. Holy moly, they got it done. Good for Jeremy Swayman. Damn. Man, it's so weird to see Bruins fans so upset. It's funny to see Bruins fans so upset for somebody doing to them what they've been doing to the league for the last decade plus. It's like, what do you mean? I can't believe it. People are being so dirty to us. Can't you? You really can't? Okay. All right. Silver lining, we might get a new Marchand crying meme in Game 6. I don't know. Is it late enough in the playoff for Marchand to cry? I don't know. All right. So, your boy Paul Douglas said, is there money and term that you would be happy to have Mitch Marner back for, like 9.3 times 8 years? Man, if Mitch Marner takes $1.5 million or whatever off of his contract to stay, he would be a hero in Toronto. Like, if he signed an extension that was for $1 million a year plus, less than what he currently makes, and then he says, guys, I just want to win the cup here, they're going to build a statue for him. that is what would happen. It would happen. There's no question. So yeah, sure. If Mitch Marner wants to make way less than his market value for the next 8 years, because his next contract should be $100 million. Should be probably, given what he's making or given what he does in the regular season. And I think if his deployment was different in the playoffs with different lineups, because the Leafs have been smallish and zippy, but oh yes, we missed the national anthems. Thank you, Boston and Florida. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm really grateful. Boring television. Yeah, I would say, damn, listen, keep it. Trade someone else. Figure it out. Let's watch some hockey, shall we? Calvin Pickard making his start tonight. Now, I want to throw this at you. The last time Sheloffs and Calvin Pickard, Arturs and Calvin, started against one another was game 2 of last year's opening round playoffs in the AHL. Abbotsford won that game 4-2. Nils Hoglander was the first star, and Calvin Pickard was the third star, made 29 saves on 32 shots. How about that? So they have played each other. Oh, I clapped, but of course, I didn't drop the puck. Here we go. There we go. And we got a game, baby. We're jumping right in here. Now, it's important that we talk about some of the people that are not starting in this game, like Stuart Skinner. According to producer Hayden's stat pack here, Stuart Skinner has his .881 career save percentage is the lowest of any goalie with 20-plus games played in the playoffs since the 2005 lockout. The second lowest of any goalie since 1990. Who was the worst goalie? Who's the worst playoff save percentage since? Oh my gosh. So that's one for the chat. That's a little trivia for you. Oh, baby. So worst playoff save percentage since 1990. Who is it? It's a crazy name. And by the way, it's a Vancouver Canuck, or at least he's known for being a Vancouver Canuck. Anybody? I'm not seeing any guesses here. Lay it on the line. Oh, I think we got a winner in the chat. Gannon, you got it. Dan Cloutier of the Vancouver Canucks, worst playoff save percentage since 1990 of goalies who've played 20 or more games in the playoffs. Isn't that nuts? His was a 0.872%. Garbage. I have a Cloutier story for you in the next face-off here. Draisaitl out. Look, he's hobbling. He's looking. He's not looking like typical him, you know. Ian Cole is moving up with Ian Cole. Tyler Myers move up. Zadorov and Juleson are the two third pair guys. Whoa, big hit by Evander Kane there. We missed it. I couldn't even see who it was on. Oilers already got 2 shots. They're out to play early. I want to see the replay of that. Okay. McDavid got kind of lucky with Quinn Hughes there, although I think Quinn tucked that stick under his arm. Oh, Shelovs with a big save. So Zadorov. Okay, so Zadorov hit Kane, and then Kane kind of brought him down. All right. That's even. My mic sound okay? So Sam Lafferty up with Pettersson, trying to get Pettersson going. I guess Linus Karlsson kind of makes sense that he would be on the fourth line. Zadorov at the point. Whoop. Little floater in. Boy, you know, the thing is Nashville and Edmonton, to a large degree, have given Pettersson a difficult time physically. And they've put Mikheyev on his line. They've put Lafferty on his line. Lafferty's tough, but he's not like big. And I wonder if in the offseason, if they look for a bigger winger to play with him to clear a little bit of room. Because I think you do need that come playoff time. But that's for another day. 17:05 left in the first, guys. No shots, Vancouver, to Edmonton. McDavid already with a really, really good opportunity, but Shelov's had it. Bluger line out there. Linus Karlsson. Nils Oman. You know, it's funny. Karlsson and Oman were not even playing in the start of this series, and here we are. This guy's getting an opportunity against the best offense in the world to play on the fourth line where you got to pin them. Lindholm line out there. That's Dakota Joshua, Connor Garland joining. For Edmonton, it's Desharnais. Whoa! And Darnell Nurse. So they split up Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci. Thank God. Oh, we got a penalty against Edmonton. It looks like Desharnais. And I think, am I wrong here? Is it Desharnais? Fogle, Joshua. Oh, yeah. That is a for sure penalty. And Darnell is tried to get Dakota Joshua to bite on that penalty, and instead Dakota Joshua just bit his hand. So yeah, I see. Here's the thing: Edmonton came out firing, and this sucks. You come out jacked, and one of your guys takes a penalty. They had all the momentum to start. This Canuck power plays looked pretty good. Obviously, need some more goals on it, but like it. I will tell that Dan Kluche story in a minute. Don't you worry. It's coming. 15:48, but we got a power play. Oh, I didn't know Canucks are 3 for 9 this series. That's really good. Edmonton's special teams this year, after like record breaking abomination a couple years ago, they've been just so good. But Vancouver should not be underestimated, as we see that they're up 2-1 in this series. Every game in this series has been decided by one goal. So it's mistakes like taking a penalty. That's stupid. The thing about penalties is if it impedes a scoring chance by the other team, you take the penalty. But if you're in the offensive zone doing something stupid, or you're pulling what Darnell Nurse did, which is a full-blown cross-check that they're absolutely going to call, you can't afford those. Looks like Edmonton could get away with it, but Connor Garland, ooh, man, here we go. They're going to test Pickard here, and they got to get volume shots on this guy. Get bodies in front of the net. Oh, that's exactly what they wanted to do. Man, power play 2 for Vancouver's looking good. Garland on the half board. Oh! Whoa, man, Suter almost had one there. How many times have I said that these playoffs? Oh, Suter! Garland! Zadorov's pinching. Garland comes up with the puck again. The guy he's never not had the puck. Nurse is out. Edmonton clears. Vancouver with a really good power play, though. Over to Garland. Ooh, no, Zadorov can't get it over. Boy, oh boy, 14-12, guys, 14-12. I got some crazy stats for you, too. Hayden's stat package was really good last game. This game, it's thick. He's going to be dropping stats in here like I know stuff. Really, it's producer Hayden, but we do appreciate him for doing it. All right, so the Dan Kluche story, by the way, I'll save it for commercial break. It's the early days of the internet and Dan Kluche. If you're a longtime Canucks fan, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Bluger line out for an offensive zone faceoff, as you would expect. You have to get Teddy Bluger out there. Although the big guys are tired. They just put 3 shots on the net in the power play. Woo! McDavid. Oh, what a save. Shilov's again. McDavid was looking for that wraparound. Liam Howe. Serious question: if the Nucks win, okay, hold on, Liam. I'm gonna get to your question in a second, but let me do this. Let's talk about this Dan Kluche story. So, Canucks fans had a very tortured relationship with Dan Kluche because, as I said, since 1990, he is the worst playoff save percentage for any goalie who played more than 20 games, and people forget, because the 2011 team went to the finals, how good the Vancouver Canucks pre-lockout were. Bertuzzi, Naslund, Morrison. That line was crazy. Matthias Ohlund was a crazy defenseman. They had great depth, really, really fantastic. But where they always lost, where they always seemed to just not get over the hump, and they remind me a lot of like the Sharks of the last decade, except the Sharks got to the finals, and the Sharks had better goaltending. Dan Kluche could just, couldn't hold it together. So Canucks fans, in the early days of the internet, with Google search, you used to be able to manipulate a search. If you search something enough, you would be able to see on the drop down menu when you search somebody's name or a word or whatever, you would be able to see how many times it was searched and what was searched the most. So Vancouver fans took it upon themselves to write Dan Cloutier, worst goalie in the world or worst goalie ever. And for like the longest time, I'll see if it's still up. Dan Cloutier. It's not. But jeez, I'll run through this. So Dan Cloutier, worst goalie, or if you were to Google worst goalie of all time, Dan Cloutier's name would come up because Vancouver Canucks fans made sure that was a search function. Now, if you look up Dan Cloutier now, Dan Cloutier DB, Dan Cloutier Elite, Dan Cloutier Stats, Dan Cloutier Trade, Dan Cloutier Twitter, Dan Cloutier Kids, and then Dan Cloutier Beach Ball, as in he couldn't stop one. Still up. Canucks fans. Wow. Now, that was before the internet was as important in our lives as it is now. And I think there was a lot of experimenting back then that was a lot more cruel than we really expected it to be. But that's a true story. 13:37 left in the first period. There's Brock Besser, who had just an incredible game last game. Almost had the hat trick. Tip puck went to Lindholm. I'm sure he doesn't care. I want to talk about Edmonton's defense pairings here in just a bit because I think you'll be fascinated to find. Well, I'll go to it now. So the worst defensive pairs for both teams through game 1 through game 3. Can anybody name them? This is according to expected goal for, and you must have played 30 minutes. You ready? Edmonton's worst defense pairing, and you would have shocked me. I can't believe this is true for expected goals. Brett Kulak and David Desharnais. Shocking, because Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse were brutal. Oh, here we go. Dakota Joshua away. Can't spring Lafferty, but good offensive play. The worst defense pairing for Vancouver. Who would that be? Tyler Myers? Carson Soucy, who is suspended for cross-checking McDavid in the teeth. Kind of crazy. So now Noah Juulsen's in, and he and Nikita Zadorov are just going to lay the bar. Or at least that's the idea. That's a tough pairing. That would not be a fun night if you're going up against them. And I got to give Edmonton credit. They split up. They finally split up Ceci and Nurse. They have to do that. Those guys cannot continue to play together. Pretty even first period so far. Edmonton came out on fire, took the penalty. Vancouver came on. 6 shots the entire game so far. Still better than Nashville. That series, man. I would have thought, by the way, that Ian Cole would have had the worst expected goals for whatever pairing he was on. He's had part of it's been bad luck, part of it's been bad. And sometimes when you have good luck, you're good, and when you have bad luck, sometimes you have bad luck, and sometimes you're just bad. And I don't know that he's always been bad, but he has had some bad shifts. There's Juulsen. You know he wants to make an impression tonight. So, Soucy's suspension, according to advanced numbers, or at least one metric, helps. Oh, they're off the side of the net. There's Draisaitl. Oh, see, you see where Draisaitl was by the side of the net there? Just waiting. He's just waiting. Oh, Ian Cole clips up the boards, doesn't get it out. Now, I got to tell you guys, as a Leaf fan, oh, JT Miller just, woo, I think we got a penalty here. Little high stick to the face. Draisaitl. I think JT Miller thinks he sold it, but I haven't seen it. We'll see. And listen, dude, if he sold it, good for him. Oh yeah. No, that's a high stick. That's a high stick. It is. Like all day. 10:04, by the way, on the sync. 10:04. I'm gonna clap for this face off. 10:04. If you're sinking. MKI Sports, I finally got off work. Woohoo! Hey, you've been here this entire time. It's nice to have you in. There's a lot of people that have just been in every single game. And all the Oilers fans that have joined. It's so sick to have you guys here. This has been a lot of fun. And you know what? It's helping to cure my depression. I'm very jealous of the fact that you guys are getting to watch this. And so I'm along for the ride. I am bandwagon jumping. Lindholm, lining up. Edmonton with the scariest power play potentially of all time, other than the Gretzky Oilers. And Bouchard with a great move at the line. McDavid in front. Oh, just missed by Draisaitl. Lindholm, deep. There's Draisaitl exactly where he stands. I love Edmonton's power play. I love it. It's the best. Look at how deep everybody is. Wow. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to see this. This is dramatic already. Draisaitl has 5 power play goals in the playoffs already. Oh my god. I don't think the Leafs have had 5 power play goals like this year and last year combined. Oh my god. Oh, it's so pathetic. Ah! I love them. This is painful though. It hurts me. Oh, okay. Edmonton doesn't get set up. Nils Oman out there taking a little bit of PK time. That's good. Talk and trust him. Pedersen out there. Joshua with him. Myers. Ian Cole. Ian Cole's got to have a good game tonight because if Susie comes back, I think Ian and Noah Juleson has a good night. That might be Ian Cole's number. Oh, what a score! Leon Draisaitl exactly where he should be. I told you 2 minutes ago. Did I not? 2 minutes ago. What a goal. That is exactly where he needs to be, and that is where he will be all night. And this is the kind of stuff. Remember, we talked about this when Nurse took his penalty. You do not want a stupid penalty that happens on a nothing play to lead to a goal, and that's exactly what happened to JT Miller there. Listen, JT Miller is a fantastic player, but getting his stick up on McDavid on Draisaitl like that has led directly to Draisaitl scoring. And you just can't let that happen. It's the playoffs. If you're taking away a scoring chance, it's cool. If you're in the offensive zone or you're just messing around, this is what you get. This was an F around and find out moment for the Vancouver Canucks. Do not F around with Edmonton's power play. Don't. And you know Miller's going to get out there and try to get that back. And I think he can. Unless Calvin Pickard has like some weird, crazy Archer's Feel-Off sort of night. Miller, Hughes. The big boys are up for the Canucks against the fourth line. And Desharnais, I'm still getting used to these. Desharnais, Nurse, I'm still getting used to the pairings. Quinn Hughes, bit of a floater in. That's blocked by Connor Brown. Oh, Derek Ryan, excuse me. Sometimes, I don't know what it is, and I think part of it is the Sportsnet stream. When the Oilers jerseys are like this, it's difficult to see the number as well. It's a lot easier to see it on the white and blue with the Canucks, so sometimes I miss the number. Oh, nice little hit by Juleson. That's a good hockey hit. Not a big banger, but something you're like, that's what you want. Stop him up. Edmonton fans love the hit on Zadorov. It's not that big. I don't think I've ever seen anybody lay Zadorov out. I think that'd be pretty hard to do. Evander Kane, Zadorov. Are they gonna tussle tonight? Are they going tonight? Are they going tonight? We all want to see it. Oh! Centered. Bouchard in deep. Oh, McLeod just missed a beauty chance. I think Shilov may have got that off the glove. Woo! Woo! Oilers fans are rooting for it. Listen, they only have 4 shots, but I bet the scoring chances are double whatever Vancouver has. Edmonton's had a really, really good period, with the exception of that power play. You got to love that. S. Murdoch, thanks for streaming since CBC Gem sucks now. Does CBC Gem not have this game? I can see how they wouldn't, because it is, what day is it today? It's Tuesday. So it's not a national night. So Sportsnet would probably take it and put it on their app only, so that you have to buy the subscription. So CBC usually only has like national night games. So it'll be, although I think CBC should have all the Canadian teams too. It's ultimately a Sportsnet feed, but whatever. I don't know how that all works. But, Sportsnet does kind of want you to subscribe to their app. Patterson putting Connor McDavid down there. Lafferty pushes the puck out. McDavid brings it back in. Zadorov, bit of a hit on McDavid. We got a wide open Evan Bouchard. Not something that you want. Roenick gets in the way of it. Whoa, Shilov's another save. Edmonton looking for that. It seems like Edmonton comes. Man, they're moving the puck really well. There's been a couple of opportunities where you legitimately think if the Oiler player is a couple of strides ahead, there is a wraparound opportunity. Oh, Draisaitl calling out the Canucks bench on the way by. Oh, I like that. Big Canadian Big Mac. Rogers pulled all streaming on Gem for playoffs and hockey going forward. No way. I did not know that. You know what? Thinking about it, it doesn't surprise me. That's what Sportsnet wants. They want you to sign up for their app. Justin put this in the chat. Adam, I have a challenge for you. Pick a score for the Oilers and Canucks, and if either of them score tonight, I'll drop some gift subs. Ooh. All right. Okay, I guess I can't pick Draisaitl. I'm going to say Evander Kane for the Oilers. I think he's due. And I didn't want to just pick McDavid because that doesn't seem fair, does it? Evander Kane. And JT Miller, because he needs to get one back. That's what I think. Jacqueline K. Boo, Sportsnet greedy. Well, I think companies are the job's to make profit. I don't love it either. I know. You should be able to watch hockey. Yeah, I'm saying Kane and Miller. Kane and Miller. That's who scores. I would have said Draisaitl before he scored, but I didn't see it in the chat. Because he was right in that spot beside the net where he scored from tonight, where he scored from earlier in the series, where he just fired the puck right through Shilov's chest. Vancouver's got to pick it up here. I think the Lindholm line needs a bit of a good shift if they're going to, make something of this first period. Edmonton's been really good. Really good. The score, I would love to know what the scoring chances are after this. Or high danger scoring chances. Because that's more accurate. You'll see. Oh, 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 Justin, was it was it first to get a penalty? Because that's what I meant, Evander Kane. First to get a penalty. You see? Drop those subs. No, man. Oh, it's a 4. Myers is bleeding, baby. So, assuming that Vancouver doesn't score, Edmonton spends most of the rest of the first on the PK. Edmonton could get 2 here. And this is again, oh, jeez. Evander, what are you doing? That's an absolute always penalty. Always, always. If they didn't get him for the double minor, they could have called him cross-checking. Man, Edmonton's had a great first period. This is not what you really want to happen. Wow. Wow, he's really bleeding. But you really do, if you're Vancouver, have to make the most of this, obviously. Um, hugely, hugely important. Oh, it's coming for a while. It's been a long day. I got up at 4:30 this morning to interview Valtteri Bottas of Stake F1 team with Tim Hauraney. Uh, he might is there's a good argument that he's the most famous person that's ever appeared on SDPN. That episode's coming out in a couple days, by the way. Pedersen bringing it up down deep. Besser, Lindholm, Quinn Hughes, Pedersen along the half boards. You know Pedersen needs to get a goal here. Oh, yeah. Hey, Adam, if you see this, can you clap in the next faceoff? Yeah. 446, by the way. 445, 444, 443, 441. I missed 442 in there, but it was 441. I wasn't talking fast enough. Here we go. Oilers on a break. Janmark. Shilov stops it. 2:42 left in the power play. Hughes Suter in his own zone. Quinn Hughes is off. PP2 for Vancouver, who looked actually very dangerous on the first playoff or power play. My gosh, I need a coffee. Wow. Oh, Hronek stops the clear attempt by Ekholm, and it's given away immediately by Zadorov. Should have just held the puck. Edmonton has more shots on this double minor than Vancouver does currently. Shots are 1-0 Edmonton. Hronek. Oh, man. Here's the thing with this. Connor Garland. Give it to Connor. Oh, no, he's changing. PP1 back out there. 3:40 in the first. Have not had a face-off, so we cannot sync yet, but we will. JT Miller bringing it in. Lindholm takes a little funny bounce over his stick. Miller on the half board. Quinn Hughes gets it. Whoop. Oh, Edmonton strips him. 1:30 now left on the power play. There's CC Nurse putting up the numbers. Maybe they'll reunite them. Wow. Edmonton's doing a great job killing this power play. Really great. This is the kind of thing you take a double minor, it sucks, but if you do a great job, you send a lightning bolt through the arena and the fans go berserk. And it's a loud arena. I think Vancouver needs to get some scoring chances on this. You cannot go. Here we go. Garland. Dakota Joshua. Pickard has it. Somehow, some way. Whoa. Well, Vancouver got a couple of bodies to the net and some shots, but look at the Edmonton crowd cheering them on. Oh. Oh, Garland. Ekholm just tied him up. Wow. Don't forget to smash that like button, folks. Only have 148. There's 843 people watching. We got to get that like button going. We got it going. Pew Suter taking the face off. And he wins it. Back to Hughes. Garland on the half wall or half board. Quinn Hughes over to Philip Roenick. Roenick has not had a point in the playoffs. Oh, my God. Another clear by Edmonton. They clear this thing, they're going to get a standing ovation. And you can't expect to beat Edmonton by with 4 shots going in the first. Not an acceptable period for Vancouver. They've had their opportunity. 6 minutes of these 20 minutes will have been on the power play. We are 10 seconds away from them killing this power play. And it just seemed like Vancouver, they got that one little opportunity that they could not get set up. Edmonton was really, really aggressive and intelligently so. They took the right risks, good deployment, and there's that standing ovation that the fans obviously owe the players. That was a great kill. Absolutely fantastic. Textbook. When you needed your goalie, he was there, but you didn't need him much. And now we got a break. Oh, Ekholm could have had one there. Oh, we got a 2-on-1 with Besser and Bluger. And wow, Nurse just cross-checked the crap out of Besser's back. Oh, my God. Oh, no, that was Draisaitl. Damn. I just assumed cross-check Darnell Nurse. He's good at them. Oh, Ian Cole with a little bit of a shot. 51 seconds to go in the first period. Still haven't had a face-off draw to sync the streams up with. I apologize, everybody. Just the way she goes sometimes. Oh! Wow, this is looking dangerous. 30 seconds to go. Can Vancouver get out of this? They got a slow deep pair out there. Oh, Bluger breaks up the play. I'm just going to say Edmonton's got their best players out there, and Vancouver's got a slower deep pair. They managed it. Teddy Bluger. Man, I like him a lot. He's a heck of a player. You know, it's interesting how quiet Edmonton's depth scoring has been. I guess you don't have to be a big goal scorer when Leon Draisaitl has 5 power play goals. Now 6. In these playoffs. It's pretty incredible. Eight 0.6 seconds to go. We're going to get a face-off with 8.6 seconds to go. Edmonton has really outplayed Vancouver. They just showed it on the graphic. Outshot them 22-14 chances, not the actual shots that made it. Here we go. And they actually dropped the puck. How about that? 6 seconds to go. Puck is iced. All right. Well, that's the first period done already. Guys, what do we think? Aaron Gray's worst period for Vancouver this series. Yeah, I think so. And honestly, it wasn't like they weren't trying. Like, let's be honest here. I think that Edmonton just came out and played the Edmonton game. They did. They were awesome. And it is still anyone's game. Oilers up 1-0. But Edmonton came out and did what they're known for. Lots of chances, running around the net, getting set up, and they do such a great job when they are set up. Everybody knows their spot. Here's the crazy thing about Edmonton is they're so predictable, and yet you can't do anything. It's sort of like watching Ovi at the half board on the power play when he puts his stick up. You know, it's like, okay, well, we know an Ovi shot's coming, and even though everybody knows it's coming, for some reason you can't really do much about it. And I feel like that with Draisaitl down low and beside the net, the place he scored a couple of times in this series, because what makes that spot so dangerous is you can't actually get out there and cover him on a especially on a power play, because you've got Zach Hyman's in front of the net, and Zach Hyman is high in front of the net. He's at the top part. And what Ryan Nugent-Hopkins always does is he darts down and gets over to the other side. So if Draisaitl decides to pass to Hyman or just get it in there, you got two Edmonton sticks whacking away at it. And if there's a rebound, Nuge has got it. It's really, really smart. Really smart. Vax 20K, time to let Pedersen go and trade him. Okay. I think we're getting a little bit... I mean, he's pretty amazing. I know that you haven't been thrilled with perhaps how he's done thus far, but like, he's Elias Pettersson, you know? He's a, let me see here, 89-point guy. You guys can't feel the same way about him that Leaf fans tend to feel about Marner. And the reason I say that is because you have not played enough playoff games. Not yet. Not yet. By the way, I don't think it's all Marner's fault. I think part of it's deployment. Liam Howe, serious question. If the Canucks win the next two against the Oilers, what are the odds Draisaitl actually leaves? And if so, what are the chances McDavid follows after? So I don't have any insight personally on the Draisaitl situation. What I think is a lot will hinge on next year. You know, we're making a lot of Calvin Pickard starting for the Edmonton Oilers. You have McDavid and Draisaitl in their cup window, and Calvin Pickard is your starting goalie because Stuart Skinner stinks in the playoffs. Or at least has for his entire time in Edmonton stunk in the playoffs. Ken Holland's gone at the end of the year. His contract's expiring. We get it. But does that give Jeff Jackson and whoever comes in as general manager enough time to find a goalie? And do they have the cap space? You know, like, I know that you've got Campbell somewhat buried, but do you buy him out? We went into this on the podcast the other day. You can't buy out Darnell Nurse. That contract, you're stuck with that. And if you go and check out the buyout calculator, you'll see why. That contract's not up till 2030. So you're a bit hamstrung there. So yeah, to answer the Draisaitl question, I think that he would have to look at how the team is built in his final year. Like, if they won this year, he might not have to think about that. He might not have to do that. If they win this year, he's probably like, yeah, I'm definitely staying. And so is Connor McDavid. Not even going to think about it. More cups, please. If they don't, it's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys watch motor racing and all, but Formula One's interesting because you'll have amazing drivers who are in bad cars. And it's like if hockey players had bad skates. Like, the team cannot provide me with good skates. If the team can't provide you with a good team around you, Leon Draisaitl has done everything the Oilers have asked of him. And he is making, like, way under market value for what he's worth. What is it, 8.5 or 9.5, whatever he's making? It's crazy. It's crazy low. He's going to be asking, and he should, for like $14 million. He should. If Matthews is making 13.5, you can't make the argument with the cap going up $8 to $9 million over the next two seasons, meaning between right now and next June, we're expecting the cap, or next July, we're expecting the cap to go up by like $8 million. You can't expect Leon Draisaitl to be like, yeah, I'm cool making less than Matthews. Because the thing about Leon is he's got that extra bit of, oh, I'm really great in the playoffs too. Like, I don't think people realize, but I think he was leading the playoffs in scoring last year until the final game, at least, in goals. And it was Jonathan Marchessault that finally tied him up. And so he finished the playoffs tied in goals with Marchessault, who scored in the final Vegas game, and Leon hadn't played a game since the second round. Edmonton was out in round 2 last year. So, yeah, you got to do everything you can to keep this guy and put a good team around him. And I think the second thing is, and this is really important, Leon's decision will have an enormous effect on Connor McDavid because Connor has to stay an extra year. and I say has to stay, will willingly stay an extra year, sign the contract to stay the extra year. I don't know what the free agent crop looks like in 2025, but Edmonton will need to immediately replace that player. Now, do you replace him with 3 players? Do you replace him with 2 players, kind of like what Winnipeg did with PLD when they made the trade? You could. But then it becomes, is Connor staying? And how good is the team in Connor's last year? It's not a great situation, but it also, now that I think about it and I say it out loud, it also forces Edmonton's management to be aggressive. Like, I remember when Edmonton in Kenny Holland's, I think it was first year, it was 2019, it was the trade deadline, or 2020, it was the trade deadline, and they traded like a couple of seconds for Andreas Athanasiou, and I think it was this year that he said this. It might have been the next year, where there was like a year where he basically did next to nothing. Oh yeah, that year they did something. It was the next year, 2021. They did next to nothing. And Ken Holland said, well, you can't go for it every year. You can't empty the clip every year. And everybody's like, are you nuts? Are you crazy? You have the 2 best players in the world. Are you crazy? And the problem is, and I'm going off on a rant here, the problem is if you don't do it when you have them then, when are you going to do it? In their last years? Because if you do it in their last years and then they leave anyway, your closet's empty, man. You're starting again. And you've seen with Chicago, with Anaheim, with Buffalo, how long it can be before you turn it around. Like Edmonton was lucky to get Connor McDavid. They won the lottery. Great. But like, what if they hadn't got Leon Draisaitl? That was entirely possible. And so you have to hit a couple of times and then watch the players develop over 3 or 4 years before you're really, truly in cup contention window. My point is, this is a big, big deal, and Edmonton needs a goaltender next year. They got to figure it out. I know that Kenny Holland tried to get Markstrom too. He decided to go to Calgary. I wonder if Markstrom is happy with that decision or regrets it. Anyway, hey, we got to do a clip here. So, Steve went on a really good rant about officiating in the playoffs, and we talked specifically about the Soucy, McDavid, Zadorov incident, and also the ones in Boston, too. So have a watch. I'm going to make a coffee, and we're coming back. Here we go.
Go ahead. Which one's this?
Hold on.
Which bit of bullshit is this?
I got to play it, although.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So,
Now,
so just to set this up.
Sure. Go ahead.
This is a 2-1 game. And it's a very, very tight game. Boston
was 2-0 Boston.
Boston had a really good first period. They get 2 goals. Panthers claw back 1. And this is the second goal. And this is the goal that ties the game. Look at Jeremy Swayman. Mm-hmm. He is deep in his crease, but the puck is in and around. You've got Charlie Coyle. You've got Sam Bennett. And Sam Bennett, you'll see, pushes Charlie Coyle into Jeremy Swayman.
Here's what he does.
Gets the puck off of Swayman's right foot, comes right to his stick, and he's able to put it in the net. Now, this was ruled a goal. The Bruins challenge, it continued to be ruled a goal, as in not goaltender interference.
And the Bruins were punished for it.
So it's paused right there on the push that Bennett has on Coyle. The argument from the people inside the game who agree with the call is that Coyle put himself in the blue crease, and once you're in the blue crease, it's your own fault if you're interfering with your goalie. Plus, he went down a little easy. I don't agree with either of those assessments. I think it should just be point blank.
Okay.
As Rule 69 in the NHL rulebook establishes it, if somebody is pushed into the goaltender, that is goaltender interference. It shouldn't matter whether or not Swayman had the ability to save the puck,
right,
whether or not Coyle's in his place. I think it's just goaltender interference point blank based on how the rule is.
You heard him. You heard the NHL, folks. You see a guy in the blue paint, hit him in the dick. It's your job. If you're not doing what's allowed, then you're not doing your job. Hit him in the dick. So here's Alan Walsh tweeting the actual godforsaken rule book of the NHL. If a defending player has been pushed, shoved, or fouled by an attacking player, so as to just to establish, Charlie Coyle is a defending player here. Sam Bennett is an attacking player. Okay, great. Now that we know that, if a defending player has been pushed, shoved, or fouled by an attacking player, so as to cause the defending player to come into contact with his own goalkeeper, such contact shall be deemed contact initiated by the attacking player for purposes of this rule, and if necessary, a penalty assessed to the attacking player, and if a goal is scored, it would be disallowed. The Bruins got a penalty out of this, and a goal was allowed against the Bruins out of this. It should have been goal disallowed, Panthers penalty. Holy fuck! What are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean,
we have too much shit to still be this bad. Too much technology, too many resources, too much personnel. What are we doing? This is wholly intentional. And I gotta point out that Colin Campbell still works for the National Hockey League at 71 years old, and the Florida Panthers happen to be his kid's team.
Peros also played for the Panthers.
Yeah. Let's go Panthers. Come on, George. Let's go Panthers. Woo! Let's go, George. Come on, George. Oh, Leaf fans salty. I am defending the Bruins with my whole fucking chest. Are you joking? Do you know how wrong you have to be to get me to yell and scream and spit for Brad Marchand? You know, holy shit. No, the second round's been anarchy. I'm done. Nope. Emergency break. It's been horrible. Horrible. And it's ruining what has otherwise been a fantastic product. Really fantastic. What's so hard about making that not a goal? What's so hard about making that not a goal?
You know what? I completely agree. I think
I wasn't sure if it was a question or if you were still filibustering.
No, I love the rant. I love the rant,
good.
And I agree with it. I think the reason I kicked it off by saying I'm bored with it is because it's the same every year. And,
Right, so-
so let me just say this.
Go ahead.
So
That's what I was asking.
And another thing.
no, that's fine. That's fine. You could go if you want to go. I'm just saying the Canucks series, specifically Game 2, the Quinn Hughes high stick that hit him in the face. What's hilarious about Quinn Hughes' face is not only is he bleeding, but there is a stick-shaped red mark on his cheek.
Yeah, do I get to talk about that now?
Around, yeah, bring it up.
Okay.
So look at Quinn Hughes' face here.
I love when I'm 2 minutes into what I know is going to be a 10-minute rant, and Jesse has something on the screen that's not related to what I'm talking about.
He knows where he's going.
I'm like, oh shit, I need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I want to talk about fucking Connor McDavid. If we're talking about people egregiously hurting superstars, I consider myself a national broadcast on the Edmonton Vancouver game because unlike Adam's biased stream, I do not have a dog in the fight.
Wow.
And Adam's clearly leaning one way. So this
Edmonton fans are mad that I'm not cheering enough for them.
Yeah, you're biased. Whatever.
Biased.
I got to take issue with both sides because the
Adam's
cross
getting
check,
that Alberta money.
Yeah.
the cross check to the face of Connor McDavid is uncalled for. It should warrant a suspension. But this is at least a penalty. And
Nope.
I don't understand how Connor McDavid gets away with cross-checking, because that high-sticking, sorry, it's not cross-checking, high-sticking Quinn Hughes in the face and drawing blood. He skates right by him.
Jesse, you got to go back. You got to go back to the picture of Quinn Hughes' face because I'm gonna show you where you got it wrong. There you go.
Sure.
There you go.
And they make him get off the ice, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's bleeding of his own.
Let me do the play.
No. The reason there was nothing called, Jesse, look up. It's 4-on-4. There's at least a 5-minute moratorium between work tasks for NHL officials. They do something, and then they got to take at least a 5-minute breather, catch their friggin' breath before they watch the game they're officiating. Sorry, continue.
I think the officiating in the Rangers Carolina Hurricanes game has been a little series, I should say, has been a little more, I think, competent, I think is the correct word, in that they're calling everything. When infractions are called, they're calling most things, and there isn't that moratorium, because there's been a couple of times where guys have taken penalties and then Aho's come out and 5 seconds later they've negated the power play because they've taken a stupid penalty. So I think there's been so many more power plays in that series.
Not only as the second round featured power plays, but it's featured power play goals, which I'm frankly not used to.
So just going back on the actual play here, Connor McDavid skating by Quinn Hughes with his stick up. He skates right by him, stick up. It's a clear hit in the face with his stick, cuts Quinn Hughes. He goes down, and from this angle, it's even worse. Is this the one? Yeah, that's the one where you just see he gets him right in the face here. And then not only does Quinn Hughes go to the official, show him the cut, but Connor McDavid sitting on the bench, nothing's done about it. And I don't know how you walk away from this and you say you did a good job as an official.
Kelly Sutherland had the worst second period of any referee I can remember and I said this on the stream and I watched a lot of bad ref Leafs games. The Vancouver Canucks fans know Kelly Sutherland perfectly. He's from Richmond, BC, and I think he goes so hard against a perceived bias. The Canucks have never won a game with him reffing in the playoffs. He's the guy.
Wow. So he's their Wes McCauley.
Do you remember the Sedin incident in the 2011 finals?
Where Brad Marchand just speed bagged them? Yep.
That was Kelly Sutherland's game.
So
Canucks fans have not forgotten Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, that was 13 years ago. He's still at it. Great job, league. Good job. But also, if you think this is just us coming up with wild theories, 32 Thoughts. Elliot Friedman was talking about, I think it's Chris Rooney.
Who the hell is he anyway?
He's some guy. And he was talking about Chris Rooney, who I think got a game during the Leafs-Bruins series. And he's from Massachusetts. And he was talking about the no-win situation that Chris Rooney is in. Because you'll get Leaf fans, going, what the there's a dude from Massachusetts officiating this game. That's not fair. And then there's the urge to go out of your way, maybe like Kelly Sutherland, to be like, nope, I'm going to call this many penalties against the Bruins to prove how not
biased.
Pro-Bruin, how not biased. Bro, just call the fucking game.
Well, and I think it would be
Call the game.
It would be less of a problem if they simply called the game, right? And they don't.
That's not their job. They're there to be game managers.
Yeah.
No, well, and how many penalties do you really want? Do you see how it always goes? And
all right, sorry to cut Steve off there. Sorry to cut him off. I have to do on the show often. People complain about that, but I got to keep the man on track, okay? It's my job. It's my duty. It's what I've been doing for 11 years. 11 seasons of the SDP. Can you imagine? And that's always how it's been. You got a playoff atmosphere to the max. Aiden is texting me to fix the mix. I'm not sure how to fix the mix. Aiden, what's the problem? Did I do something? Is there an issue? Audio's not great. Why isn't the audio great? Is it okay? Are we not? Testing. How's that? Hello. Testing. How's that? Better. Weird. I don't know why I sounded underwater there, guys. Sorry about that. 19:30 in the second period. I wanted to do a clap to start there, but good. Garland with a little shot there. Vancouver's going to have to come out really, really strong in this period. I think it was actually smart of Alpha to start the big boys for Edmonton because Vancouver needs this to go well. Adam is underwater. Am I still underwater? What happened? It's underwater. Testing. Hello? Is it bad? Still bad? Keep talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What happened to the microphone? I wonder. That's so weird. Okay. You know what? I don't know what happened. Let me have a look.
Okay. All right. All right. I see what the problem was. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense. Testing 1, 2. Testing, testing. Go ahead, buddy. Let's roll it in. Oh, are we on? Hi, everybody. So, there was a connection issue. I don't know. Stuff happens. We're only 3 minutes into the second period. Jeez. Honestly, all I did was go make a coffee. That's it. That's all I did. Anyway, shout out to the person who was like, bring back Steve. Listen, Steve is not better at tech than me. We're both equally bad. The only person who's good at it of the three of us is Jesse. He built the entire studio. He even built this one, and I screwed it up. He's like, don't worry, it's idiot proof. No, it's not, Jesse. Oh, no. Beg to differ, my friend. Beg to differ. Someone said, nice dip in the pool, didn't miss anything. Well, sure sounded like I was dipping in the pool. That's brutal. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for letting us know. I couldn't even hear it. Lift weights and forks. Hello from Halifax. What's up? What part of Halifax? Tell me what street you live on. Are you Dartmouth or are you Halifax proper? Or are you Musquodoboit County? Well, it's technically Halifax Regional Municipality. Yes. Do I still keep in touch with Jax? Yes, I do. Jax and I still do a version of Ghosted called Left on Red. You can find us on Instagram. We do a bunch of stuff. And we're also on TikTok too. Jesse has to be good at tech because he works with two boomers. It's honestly not untrue. Like, I can't even be upset about that. That is a very, very accurate statement. And I need you to send that to him. He needs to know that he's appreciated. Brock Besser in front of the net. Whoop! That's the first real good 5-on-5 play I've seen the Canucks make that actually leads to a scoring chance in this game. They have to do better. The Lotto line back together here. Well, not quite Suter, but Pettersson's out there. I do want to see the Lotto line together at some point. Lift weights and forks. Lower Sackville, what's up? I'm from Lower Sackville. I used to live in Clayton Park. Woo! Teddy Bluger. Big bomb from Teddy Bluger. Didn't know he had it in him. Calvin Pickard, looking solid. Adam, how overpaid is Darnell Nurse? Oh, what would if Darnell Nurse's market value was there today? Like, you got to think of it like this. Nikita Zadorov is probably going to be a $7 million defenseman. Is Nurse any different? And you got to remember, Nurse signed that contract like 2-3 years ago, right? So they were expecting him to get better. And I know he's had some nagging injuries and things, but hasn't panned out perhaps the way I would say Nurse this offseason would be a 7.5. Big, tough, scary. You know, I think part of the problem with Darnell Nurse, if I'm going to nitpick is the fact that he's paired with, for my money, a good person, but not a great defenseman. I hate taking, I take a lot of shots at Cody Ceci, and it's unfair, but I constantly am questioning how people much smarter than myself are putting this player in a position to fail. Like it's not that he's not an NHL defenseman; it's that they put him in like key minutes, and like Dubas was like, "Oh no, he was really good in Toronto," and like Edmonton took him and then re-signed him, and they never had to. I'd like to see Darnell Nurse with a much more mobile defenseman who plays intelligent defense, like somebody who can move a puck. So if you want to get maximum value out of Darnell Nurse, stop signing Cody Ceci to what, $3 million or whatever. He's got another year after this one, doesn't he? Like another one of those head scratching. Ken Holland, did you ever look at advanced numbers ever before you signed that deal? So I Nurse gets a lot of the shit because he makes 9.25, but yeah, Ceci's making 3.25. That's not what that defenseman is. Like I look at Timothy Liljegren in Toronto, right shot defenseman. Oh, she loves big. So Cody Ceci is a right shot defenseman. So you pay a premium for that, right? You do pay a little bit more. And I know Cody Ceci was about to go to the open market, but Cody Ceci at 3.25 and Timothy Liljegren at 1.4 million. Most people will tell you Timothy Liljegren is a better defenseman. Just better overall, better skill, better upside, younger, whatever, all that stuff. He's making 1.4. I don't see how Cody Ceci's making more than double. I don't get it. And I know he wasn't an RFA when he signed it, but like 2 million, 2.5, something like that, maybe. Good little play there, by the way. Anyway, I do feel that Darnell Nurse could use somebody else on his thing, and I bet you Edmonton on their shopping list this summer puts a defense partner in the top 4 for Nurse. They need a right shot D. Who doesn't? Ooh. And they need a goalie. They do not need forwards. They're good on the forward thing. Although I think they could find more useful forwards. Like spending $3 million or 3 point whatever on Connor Brown was, again, what do you say? And this is a really good team. We talked about Leon Draisaitl a little earlier. He needs to see that money spent better. He does. Aaron Grace, that's the issue with Edmonton's books. They have a lot of good money. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Ekholm. Yeah, all those guys are on just steals of contracts. There's an argument to be made that, well, I don't even know if there is an argument to be made. Is Connor McDavid's the best value contract in the NHL? Is it the most for your money? Probably up there. And a lot of bad money that offsets the good money, Ceci and Campbell. Yeah. Yeah. You know, a good strategy is to not take the Leafs cast-offs every year. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Leafs have not seen a lot of success in the playoffs. Not sure if you've been watching them, but it's true. Gaudreau on nearly $10 million. He badly needs some help. Yeah, but Columbus sucks, and they run their organization poorly. And yeah. I heard today, by the way, or it's been reported that as a part of their interview process, it doesn't mean he's getting the job, but Mark Flippin Bergevin was interviewed by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Can you imagine? He brought PLD to Los Angeles. That worked out well. Maybe he'll bring PLD back to Columbus. Icing against the Oilers here. Vancouver with a much better start, but I got to say, Edmonton's playing some stingy defense. I like the pairings they've gone with tonight. It has made a difference. Nurse, Ceci, I think we're just getting skated into the ground a little bit. And now, I mean, Nurse and Desharnais, just gigantic and mean and tough. That's not a fun night. And they got wingspan. They can cover some ice. Kulak, Ceci, limit the minutes. Excuse me. Kulak is a good defenseman. Ceci's a good defenseman, but that's where Ceci should be. You're 5'6". Nothing wrong with that. You need good 5-6. But those are the guys that's where you need to be playing them. We'll see if Vinny Desharnais' perceived lack of speed, is it perceived or is it real? And inability to move the puck at an elite level plays a part in this too. Because I know Ekholm Bouchard have been amazing. But, part of me wonders, I know they tried Nurse Bouchard for a while, didn't they? That didn't go so well. I don't know. I think you're kind of stuck with what you're stuck with. Also worth noting that Troy Stecher is sitting on the sidelines for Edmonton. So if they don't like the pairings today, here comes Nurse pass turnstiles Ian Cole. Oh, man. Whoa, what a save by Shilov. Did not know where the puck was. Nurse had a couple of beauty chances. Give him credit. He was off like a rocket. It wasn't the fastest foot race ever, but it didn't need to be. He was faster than the guy next to him, and sometimes that's all you need. Damn. 11:26 in the second period, by the way. 11:25, 11:24, 11:23, 11:22, 11:21. If we're aligning streams, when there is another face-off, don't worry, I will clap. That coffee is really hot. Really, really hot. Here's Carlson. Who else is having a coffee with me? Who's staying up late? I know we got some Halifax, Nova Scotia. We got a Halifax, Nova Scotia, where it's already almost midnight. I would love to know where else everybody's coming in from. Ethan, hey Adam, going through my first breakup. The last couple of months have been rough, but watching the stream is making my day a little better. Ethan, we're happy to have you along, buddy, and I'm sorry to hear about the breakup. Those are always really, really hard. Take it from the divorced guy. That's even worse, I'll tell you. But I'll tell you this, too. Summer is on the way, and I want you to get out there, and I want you to meet people. And I'm not talking about date people. I'm talking about meet people. Meet cool people. Cool people who make you feel good, who build you up. What's that saying? Pay attention to what you feel like when your friends are around. If you feel good, then they're good friends. If you don't feel good, something to consider. Ooh, nice little breakup there by Juleson. Leon Draisaitl. I think, Gretzky had his office behind the net. Leon's is just below the face-off circle there. He's always there. Back home with a shot. Tipped high. Still in. Man, Vancouver, their legs are burning. They need a whistle. Look at Zadorov. He can barely move. You're just, when you're doing like a leg day and your thighs are just sizzling. The lactic acid is building up. You're dying on that. You're going to feel this shift tomorrow. Just get that whistle. Man, I bet they wish that puck had left the zone. You're going to have to block some shots here, boys, because you're barely moving. Carlson, Mikheyev, Pettersson out there. Shilov's with a save. Oh, man. Goalie bailing them out. McDavid is almost exclusively looking to pass. This is from Dean Thibodeau. Thinking he has a core injury? I don't know. It's a good question. He hasn't been his dominant self, although he's been very good. $10 p.m. in Chicago. Where else? What else? Where else is everybody tuning in from? We got a Chicago. We got a Halifax. Where's everybody coming in from? I want to know. Oilers have one line. Shut them down. You win easily. Come on, Ducks. See, here's the thing. Oilers actually have two. It don't erase Nugent Hopkins, Evander Kane. They do have two lines. They would have had two better lines. I know that they put Nuge up with McDavid and Hyman, but they're going to put, and they have been switching Draisaitl in. The thing is, you got Kane, Draisaitl, and Dylan Holloway. Adam Henrique being out is not good. We got Maine, we got Charlotte, we got San Antonio, Mill Bay, BC, Oakville, Windsor, Southern California. Where in Southern California? Southern California is huge. Louisville, Knoxville, South Carolina again, 9 p.m. in Yellowknife. What's up? Burns Lake, BC, Bowmanville. What's up, Bowmanville? We were just there. Dubai is the new hockey town. Yes. Love seeing people from Dubai. I have been there. I went to 104.4 Virgin Radio. That's right. It's 104.4. Was there like 15 years ago. Got to hang out with Chris Fade, who is like a big star over there. And he's on that show Dubai Bling now because he's a star. Burnaby, BC, Nashville, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Patrick Hamos. Hello, sir. Hello, Patrick. Fredericton, Switzerland. Where in Switzerland? Scylla. Where? Port Dover. Shizuoka, Japan. Wow. Look at that. Dayton, Ohio. Yo, what's up, Davin? Been to Dayton. My wife is watching from Iran, if that counts. Yes, it does count. Absolutely, it counts. By the way, it's been a bit of a quiet game. 9:36 left in the second period, and I just missed another faceoff to clap. Producer Hayden's going to be like, what the hell? This guy is the worst at this. And he'd be right. He'd be right. I'm the worst. 9:23 left. Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane. Oh, it wasn't Evander Kane. Why did I say Evander Kane? Wow. Was it Evander Kane? Do my eyes deceive me? Often. All right, here we go. Hronek deep. I can't believe Philip Hronek has not had a playoff point. That's crazy. After the season he had. I know he got cold at the end, but still. Oh, Vancouver is... I saw a little bit of a shades of the Edmonton Oilers power play there. Did you see what Dakota Joshua just did? Coming streaking in? They might be copying that play a little bit. It's a good play. Good shift here for the Lindholm line. They've looked good all series. Here we go. Garland, shoot the damn puck, Garland. Shoot the puck. Shoot it. Quinn Hughes found you, buddy. Oh, you waited too long. Oh, man. Quinn Hughes just found a beautiful seam there. That was crazy. Hughes is just walking around Oilers in there. Hronek. Wow. Here comes Garland back in. End of the shift. Still skating around. Still handling the puck. I love this guy. That guy is a Kyle Dubas guy. I'm telling you. And in that regard, I would agree with Kyle Dubas. Connor Garland is awesome. I love this player. Zadorov with a big slap. Brett Kulak has been out there for almost 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He's just dogging it. Oh, big save by Cal Pickard, who has a shutout. This is his first playoff start. By the way, let's go into producer Hayden put together some great stats for the game. So interestingly, through 3 games here, Edmonton were out shooting Vancouver 94-61. Block shots by Vancouver. And this is how many opportunities Edmonton is getting. Vancouver has blocked 54 to Edmonton's 24. It's very much, Edmonton is very much doing its offensive duty. Where they were losing was in goaltending. And you're seeing it now, at least for now. Calvin Pickard's looking good. Best lines for both teams. Obviously, for Edmonton, it's pretty obvious. Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl, Vancouver, according to expected goals. Suter, Miller, Besser. Best defensive pairs for both teams. Not really a surprise either. Quinn Hughes, Phil Hronek, and in Edmonton, Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard. Yeah, they're pretty good. It's kind of wild that Edmonton ever went to the playoffs without Bouchard or Ekholm. Like, Ekholm's been so big for them. That highlight of Ken Holland's time in Edmonton was that trade. That was a hell of a trade. I'm curious about this. I want to know I don't know if there's time. I'd love to know what the numbers are for the new Edmonton defense pairs. They have to be looking good. There has to be solid numbers on that, because like they've done a good job of shutting Vancouver down today. Vancouver was eating Nurse CC up. We saw that. Reading the chat here. Kierman Milburn. I just want a Canadian team to win the cup. It's a shame it's been 30 years. Agreed. Now, you're a better Canadian fan than most. Most Canadian fans would be like, if we don't win, screw the rest of those guys. Which, that's being a fan. Okay, here's Miller. The big boys are out for Vancouver. Zadorov and Quinn Hughes. Interesting pairing. Like that. They have done this a couple of times. Besser, Miller, Besser. They've been dangerous all series. Oh, looked good there, but there was an Edmonton foot in front of it. Suter in the corner. This is the first real sustained pressure we're seeing from Vancouver in this second period. You know, we saw a little bit earlier, but we're seeing it now over and over and over again. This is where Vancouver does, they never give on that. They're always pushing, but they're going to need more of this. They need shots and they need bodies in front of the net. And with Desharnais out there, it's difficult to do because he's gigantic. And by the way, if I play with my nose, I apologize. The allergy season just killing me. Just killing me. Hot take, pick up Tanev and Toffoli at the deadline. They win the cup. Yeah, and they were there the whole time. Isn't that wild? It does go to show sometimes a coach is what makes a difference. Lindholm's going to try to find Garland here. Joshua, oh, the shot doesn't get on. Boy, lots of good little tips and blocks for Edmonton in the last few minutes here. They've really shut down some serious offensive opportunities. Vancouver's looking better and better. And did that puck hit the glass, or we get... No, it's not a puck over glass. Why don't the Canucks like to shoot? I don't know. Connor Garland should have... Oh, Bouchard. Good play on Joshua there. Adam, do you think the Canes will reverse sweep the Rangers? No, I do not. I do not think. But it would be fun, wouldn't it? Think about the headlines. Rangers fans would melt down. I don't know if there are any in the chat tonight, but Rangers fans would melt the F down. DC went to a disco on Friday and tried your suggested dance moves. That would be biting the bottom lip, putting the thumbs up. Nothing that women love more than that. I was kindly asked to leave. Might have been doing it wrong. Biting bottom lip and both thumbs. It should be both thumbs. One thumb is unbalanced. You must have two thumbs to balance each other out. One goes up, one goes out, right? So we're doing this and we're up, right? And you can then you can get the whole palm out when you need to get your hands up in the air, when you have to put your hands up in the air, right? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that it didn't go better for you, DC. I don't know what could have happened. They always work for me. Toffoli wants 5 to 6 years max. That was reported where he wanted to stay in New Jersey. Yeah, listen, Toffoli is a great goal scorer, and I wonder is Toffoli the new Pavelski? Because remember, people called. By the way, Robert is in the chat. So I can't diss Toffoli even if I wanted to, because Robert would have my head. It's one of his favorite players. So Toffoli this year, 33 goals and 55 points. That's if you can get that player for $5 or $6 million, that's not bad. The problem is that he's 32. And if he wants 4 years, you're expecting some sort of drop-off. Now, that deal gets better. Like, you have to remember the the mid-mark contracts, the middle class of the NHL, those are the contracts that usually kill you, right? It used to be that if you had a bunch of $5 million players, you just were dead in the water. That used to be the Leafs. They were terrible. But if you sign a deal like that now, in 3 to 4 years, that deal is going to take a significant hit in terms of what the percentage of the cap is. And that's how these teams look at it internally. They don't look at the number. They go, what's the percentage that this player will be taking off of my cap, and can I stomach that? And as Toffoli gets older, is foot speed an issue? Can you play him on the third line to get some depth scoring? When he's season 36, Pavelski was such a great example I was mentioning earlier of a guy who was 34, 35 when he signed with the Stars and has been just lights out. What a great signing. Would love to see Toffoli needs to go to Edmonton and then Toronto so he can play for every Canadian team. Yeah. It didn't really work out so well for him in Winnipeg, eh? I thought that was going to be a match made in heaven. It just not a fit. Sometimes that happens. Lindholm didn't look like a fit in Vancouver. They tried to trade him at the deadline. They just got him. And now he's been great. Good thing that sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. Here's Nuge. Ooh, Shelovs did not know where that was. 18-13 of the shots, 4:41 left in the second period. Now the Leafs have a $10 million player problem. Yeah. They do. It's a good problem to have. Dan led 6-6. Go Oilers, go. Indeed, Dan. I have to be honest, this is the most boring game of the series. By far. Shelogs, MKI. Sheloffs. Ooh. By the way, there have been suspiciously few updates about Casey DeSmith and Thatcher Demko. Haven't there? Like, if the Canucks make the third round and Thatcher's healthy, do they give him the net? If Thatcher Demko faces down McDavid and Draisaitl and gets through this series and wins, can you give Thatcher Demko the net back? I don't think so. Yeah, these streams are less boring because Adam isn't as biased towards the Canucks. Well, listen. The reason I've been biased towards the Canucks is I've been complimentary of the team that's won the most games in the series. I think that's what it is. But if I'm being honest with you, if either of these teams were playing the Leafs, I would not be cheering. Oh, here we go. Oh, boy. Sorry, my mic cracked there. Wow. See? Evander Kane almost had one. See? I was almost right. That was one of my picks for goals. I think Evander Kane, and I thought JT Miller because he took that silly penalty in the first, which led to Draisaitl's goal, which has been the difference. 3:08 in the second period. To be fair, I haven't been hearing anyone asking for updates Reed to Smith. No, I haven't either, Helen. I haven't either. Sheloff's been amazing. I guess you don't have to ask when the goalie's good. I have to tell you, in Toronto, we turned that into a controversy. Well, do you give it to the we'd be talking about that all day. Well, what do you do? Well, answer our Twitter poll. What this game needs is a controversial goalie interference / no call. Evan Kennedy. You're right, Evan. We need something that we can scream about tomorrow. By the way, it was so fun as an outsider, and I admittedly am. Ooh, big hit there. Corey Perry, who's been relatively quiet in this series. It was funny watching because, media, if you're like a journalist, and I'm not a journalist, if you're a journalist, you're supposed to be somewhat unbiased. You're supposed to look at the team unbiased. And we all have our biases. And if you watch the same team 82 nights a year, you're probably going to be a little bit biased in their direction. That's just human nature. But it was so funny watching the media reaction to both just to the same event, to Soucy's suspension. Everybody in Edmonton was like, yeah, probably should have been more. Everybody in Vancouver was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this is even happening. And the rest of us, all 30 other fan bases and media, are going, well, Pietrangelo got one game, so if both sides hate the suspension, if both sides hate it, then it's probably close to the right suspension, right? Maybe. It's like a compromise. Both sides kind of don't like it. And that's how you know you kind of found the compromise. We can't post the clock to sync it up, but I can tell you that we got 106, 105, 104, 103, 102, 101, 1 minute to go in the second period. Listen, I was wondering why they kept playing Ian Cole, and I'll be honest with you. Now having seen Juleson, oh, big hit, baby. Forget what I said. Oh, no. Oh, I was just mentioning him. He goes for the hit, and that allows Nuge and McDavid to go in. And with 39.8 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen, the Edmonton Oilers are up 2-0. Oh, man. Nikita Zadorov giving him some words of encouragement there. That was a snipe. 19, you're banging on. That was a snipe. Juleson goes for the hit. Oh, man. You know what? Listen. Everybody's going to be mad at Juleson for this. Technically, it isn't his fault that the puck deflects over to Nuge. And here's what I will say, too. Like, is that really... Like, when I see his hit on Ekholm just makes the move before the shot. And then Shilovs has a clear look at Nuge. You kind of need a save there. Oh, all the boys are chewing on the mouth guards. Let's go. We got it. There's the face-off. 39 seconds to go. I hate to say this, Vancouver fans, you need a save there. I'm not saying it's his fault. You need a save there. If a goalie has a straight shot, look at the guy. Come out, angle him off. And I know McDavid's there, but Tyler Myers is gigantic. You're hoping he'll break up the pass. Yeah. So I know Juleson's going to take a lot of crap for that. And maybe I'm completely wrong here, but Ekholm got the pass off before Juleson hit him. But there's no way Juleson could have anticipated that, 27.7 left. Here we go. Gonna give you a clap. Here we go. Oh, no. No, because the ref, linesman did not drop the puck. There we go. That's an unstoppable shot, Adam. He's out of his crease. Just a fantastic shot. Yeah, true, Zach, true. I just don't want to, I feel like Juleson, I don't think his play was egregious there. I don't. And give Nuge credit, man. Great player. Oh, great player. That Juleson hit reminds me of the Zadorov one for the Flames a couple of years ago. Is that the one? Yeah. Bintang Warrior premature clap. Not something that's recommended. Let me tell you. 6.6 seconds left in the second period. Ladies and gentlemen. Canucks have been ghost tonight. Where's EP, Miller, and Besser? I think that Vancouver doesn't know what to do with these new defense pairs. Edmonton's been very stingy. They've pushed them to the outside. Canucks are not getting bodies to the net. They're not getting shots through. Full marks for Edmonton. This is the best defense we've seen them play. They've been great. So we're finished the second period, 22-14 of the shots. Vancouver's got to make a decision when they go to the dressing room. Like, obviously, Tockett's going to chat with them or whatever, but these guys have got to make a decision. Do you want to take a stranglehold back home? Do you want to go home with the series on the line and win it in front of your fans? Or do you want to guarantee that you're coming back to Edmonton? Because that's where we're at. And I just think they should maybe consider a show in the third period. I'm also hoping for that because this game's been kind of slow. It's been kind of slow. It's one of those games. It's not great. It's not great. Body language is bad for Vancouver. This is from Zach. Hopefully they come out buzzing. Say it, Adam. Yeah, let's go. Oh, you want me to say it? Let's go. Let's go! I don't want to break the microphone. See what moderate quality goaltending does for Edmonton. True. But also see what good quality defense does for a goalie. Like Stuart Skinner was, listen, the shots were not great that he let in, but Stuart Skinner has not got defense like Calvin Pickard has gotten. Edmonton looks like a different team in front of him. We saw it. Okay, I'm gonna make it about the Leafs again, but bear with me because the Leafs did have true goaltender issues this year. And I remember when Sammy was really struggling in November, December, and they put Joseph Wall in. And when they put Joseph Wall in, the Leafs played so much better in front of him. They were confident, ready to go. And, obviously Wall got hurt, but the same thing happened again in the playoffs. Sammy started to get, you needed a save. And the Leafs, when Wall played, he was amazing. And they were amazing in front of him because they were confident. Edmonton looks confident in front of their goaltender tonight. They're playing great defense. But, dude, they do look like a different team tonight. Burps McGurps. It's a good name. Feels like Dallas with playoff Otter and Wyatt Johnson will be tough to beat for either of these teams. They might just be the favorite. Yeah, it is feeling like a Dallas-New York final, doesn't it? Now, I understand that we haven't seen what Florida and or Boston might look like against the Rangers, should they get in, because Carolina's not out yet. But it just feels like New York and Dallas might be inevitable. I don't know. We'll see. Adam, at what point does LFR become HFR? Like, you mean like a hockey fan reaction? Just to like anything? Ooh. I mean, it'd be fun. I don't know. Steve does such a spectacular job with that. It's very, very difficult to duplicate that format. Not that you shouldn't try, but like I feel like if I did a fan reaction video, people would be like, "What is this?" Like the thing about Steve is he's very, very quick, very funny. So I'd have to do it in like the way I do these streams. Like Steve's very amped up. He's calling the game. He's doing this. I look at these as like they're a hangout session. We're all hanging out. We're watching the game together. It's Tuesday night, and we're enjoying it. And so, yeah, or it's SDPN, Hayden fan reaction. Now, that would be good. That'd be producer Hayden. I'm sorry, but whoever wins this series, I believe, will lose to Dallas and or Colorado. They're too good. You might be right. The one thing I will say is going into this series, everybody's like, oh, Edmonton's going to crush Vancouver. And I think because a lot of people outside of Vancouver did not watch the Vancouver series. I get it. You're watching your own team. But I did. And they were opportunistic and very, very strong against a Nashville team that was brutal, so boring, brutal on defense. And by brutal, I mean they were so good, but not good at anything else. Overtime winner, Zadorov doesn't fight, only cheap shots. To be honest with you, though, if Zadorov did fight, who's an even match for him? Like Desharnais? Like, that's it, right? Seaweed Man. Everybody else is like, most people on the ice, 6'2", 6'3". Zadorov is huge. He's like 6'7", 6'8". So you're giving up, for most players, 4 or 5 inches. I don't know. I don't know why Siri just checked in with me there. Your Siri ever just go off? Anyway, I'm going to throw on a clip for you. Take a little breather, finish up my coffee. Here's what we got. CJ show, who will be the Leafs' next coach? Have a listen. CJ and Julian discussing the Leafs' next coach, as I'm sure Vancouver and Edmonton fans want. You want Leafs content, and here you go.
We have to do a really quick Leafs corner here. What's the latest on who the next head coach is going to be?
Well, Craig Berube was in Toronto over the weekend, had a couple different meetings with Leafs brass. I'd still of the view that he's probably the favorite for this job. Ticks a lot of obvious boxes as a former Stanley Cup winner, experienced coach. I think someone who, might know how to tighten the whip a little bit to deliver a message in a stern way. So he had first crack at sort of the interview process. Todd McLellan is next up on deck. And I'm not really sure if there'll be another candidate that ends up being considered beyond that. I mean, we'll see how things go. We'll see if anyone else shakes loose, like a Rob Brindamore, for example. If there's any world where he becomes available, maybe, he gets in the mix there. Maybe there's a world where they get through these two interviews and like, what, we're not totally 100% sold on one or the other. But at this point in time, Berube and McLellan certainly are the favorites, and Berube's already been through for some discussions, and now Todd McLellan gets a chance to do the same. And based on what Brad Treliving said on Friday when he met reporters alongside Keith Pelley and Brendan Shanahan, don't expect this to necessarily be a long search for the Leafs. I don't think that they're going to talk to 15 candidates and stretch this out over a period of time. I think they recognize where they're at on the calendar, that there are other teams out there that have talked to these candidates. Berube has spoken with New Jersey. I think he's going to get a crack at the Winnipeg job just in terms of having a discussion there. And so we'll kind of have to see how everything shakes down, but I think that's sort of where the coaching thing is at. And that's the next big and important decision in Toronto. And then we'll get on to what they're going to do with the core 4 or the core 5, or, any larger roster kind of decisions that need to come down the pipe here.
We need to interrupt Leafs Corner. It sounds like this is from Elliot Friedman. Sounds like there will be a hearing for Carson Soucy.
Yeah.
CJ kind of told you that was probably going to happen.
Yeah, you really have to galaxy brain it to not give him one.
Yeah, I could understand that. But look, this is going to be, people are going to argue both sides of this. It is what it is. Do we have unless you were gonna add something, but could we lump in Sheldon Keefe and the fact that New Jersey has come up as a possibility for the head coach?
Well, the Devils certainly are interested. And I think the big decision for Sheldon Keefe is, does he want to work again this soon? And that's probably not an easy decision to make. I mean, he's got 2 more years under contract from the Leafs, so he doesn't have to worry about his family or any of those other things. You can imagine how stressful. I mean, every coaching job is ridiculously stressful, but I do think doing it in a place like Toronto with the media attention, with every one of your comments being dissected and interpreted, and there's a lot of little mini controversies that come out of being the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who speaks 2 or 3 times a day. He may elect to take some time. I don't have any reason to believe he's made that decision, but certainly the Devils have interest in him. And I think Sheldon Keefe, quite honestly, is in a position where he can be a little bit picky. It's not to say he wouldn't want to go to New Jersey, but maybe the timing isn't right so much. And, you can't tell me someone who has the points percentage he has after 350 odd NHL games coach won't have another chance to coach a good team. And so, we'll have to see how that bounces together. And, I don't know that we would call him the lead candidate in New Jersey. I think the Devils are looking at a variety of people, but certainly they'd like to talk with Sheldon. And, it's really down to, is he ready to jump right back into the fire after what he's been through? And so until he makes that decision, it's hard to say where things will go or won't go with New Jersey.
Okay, we'll be on the lookout for any more stories as it pertains to one Sheldon Keefe. Let's go through Ask CJ real quick here. We got a couple of questions here. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions on Discord and on Twitter. From Nick Vanny, or Vanny, probably Vanny. Status on Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond extensions in Detroit.
Well, it's interesting that Raymond went to the Worlds, given that he is a pending RFA. Not sometimes players are concerned about that. Scored a nice goal there, if you saw, for Sweden. Don't have any specific news, but I don't think there's a lot to worry about either. I mean, these guys are fully under team control, coming off their entry-level contracts. As we've seen in many cases, sometimes it takes time to get those sorts of deals done. Obviously, as after on July 1st or beyond, they're eligible to sign offer sheets. But I don't think many teams view that as a huge pressure point, because we just don't see very many offer sheets signed. And if someone signs you to an offer sheet like the Habs did with Sebastian Aho all those years ago, sometimes it just eliminates the negotiation, and you just take the terms of that offer and move forward. So, obviously 2 important players for Detroit, but I don't have any sense that there's anything going wrong there. Probably not a conversation though, or any urgency until June.
Next one from Jacob Ouellette. Simple one. I've been trying so hard as a Bruins fan to take my black and gold blinders off. How is that not goaltender interference? That's obviously a reference to Sam Bennett and Charlie Coyle in front of the net during their game on Sunday. I don't know how that wasn't goaltender interference either. That was crazy.
Yeah, my instincts watching the game in the moment was that goal was going to come off the board. I thought that it was going to be deemed goaltender interference. This is we have to highlight this. It's a subjective call, right? There's an interpretation that's made by the situation room when those plays are challenged. I think it makes it incredibly difficult for the video coaches who have to, in 20 or 30 seconds, signal to their bench that there should be a challenge. Just given how important the games are, the Bruins ended up killing the penalty that came out of an incorrect challenge there, but it's subjective. It's not entirely black and white. Coyle does appear to be going into the blue paint on his own initially before he's, pushed or cross-checked there into his goaltender. It sounds as though the situation room deemed that Swayman wouldn't have been able to get over and stop the puck anyway. It's a hard one. It is. I'm not going to come out. Look at if I was the fan of that team, I'd be pissed too. I get it. I understand why there's discussion there. I just don't know that I can sit here and say they definitely got it wrong either. But it's a hard one to challenge. It's a hard one to say what's going to happen, because each play isn't quite the same. I mean, you look at the wording of the rule. I mean, if a player gets pushed into his goalie, that's deemed as goaltender interference by the NHL rule book. And Coyle certainly got pushed into Swayman. They just viewed that wasn't, it was part of the play. It wasn't the reason that there was a goal there. So
the NHL got it wrong. It should have been goalie. Anyway, I'm not going to
go on. I wasn't not reacting. I was like, I'm giving you the floor.
No, I just
go off, brother. I'm all for it.
He pushed him into the goalie. What? I don't know. In the interest of time, I will reserve judgment on that one. But he pushed him into the goal. Anyway.
All right, what do we think? Is it Berube? Is it Todd McClellan? They interviewed both. Is it Gerard Gallant? Listen, one of these two teams is going to lose this series, Vancouver and Edmonton. And what I want to remind you is that in your disappointment, don't overreact, because you could always be the Leafs. And you don't need that. You don't need to be the Leafs. Be happy. You're a second-round team. One of you is going to be a third-round team. Don't be the Leafs. You don't want to do that. Man, it looks like a beautiful night in Edmonton. Good for them. It's cold. It's usually cold there this time of year. I mean, it's getting warmer and warmer. I get it. But I have been in Edmonton in May, and I've seen it snow. I've seen it snow in July in Calgary. Jeff Cassidy, Jeff Ducharme, stop it. It's Dom Ducharme. And also, no. As a Blues fan, I hope it's Berube for you. J-Rock, is that because you wish us good or ill? What do you think of Berube? Are there Blues fans in the chat like J-Rock who can tell us what your thoughts on Berube are? And by the way, Oilers fans in the chat, since Todd McClellan was the other guy that was interviewed, what are your thoughts on Todd McClellan? I would love to know. Those are the two guys. If there are any Kings fans in the chat who remember Todd McClellan too, I don't know how many Kings fans we have here tonight. Love to know what you think. 18 degrees in Edmonton right now. Good for you. God, it's warmer there than it is here. Gallant is basically Laviolette. Wow. Well, Laviolette's doing okay. Snowed in May here in Anchorage. Not surprising. You did choose Anchorage. You are going to see some snow. Vegas had Gallant. He was too soft on the guys, and then we got the cut with Bruce Cassidy. True. I like Berube when he was with the Flyers. Didn't have a problem with him. Todd McLennan was a good man. Did not make adjustments. The Leafs don't need that. We need coaches who can watch. Berube is incredible. You'll love him as your coach. Berube, well liked, very nice here. Or that's McClellan, very nice, well liked here in LA. As a Kings fan, you don't want McClellan. McClellan was good in San Jose for a while, but could just never get it done. That's true. Berube and Laviolette are very similar. Anchorage chose me. That's funny. So, okay. Switching gears here. Because I think it's an important time to switch gears. Back to the game that we're watching. At the end of the third period, what will be the score? And will it be a tie? Or will it be a lead? And if it is a lead, then we will have a winner. And if we have a winner, who will that be? How's the third period going to unfold? I want some extremely, very correct opinions. All right? Because one of you is going to be right. MT Grimm says 4-0 Oilers. Are you sure? Are you sure? Interesting. 2-2 at the end. 3-3. Oh, you guys think we're going overtime. I don't know if you guys, how many of you were here for the overtime game in game 2, but there sure were a lot of people on Friday night into Saturday morning hoping that I would get 4 straight overtimes. You sickos. Unbelievable. How could you do that to me? It's very late here. Another 4-3 game. 4-2 Canucks, 4-1 Edmonton, 4-1 Oilers, 4-1 Oilers, 5-3 Canucks. Wow. A lot of goals predicted in the third period, considering it's been a pretty tight game. Here's what I think happens in the third. A penalty gets called on the Oilers within the first 5 minutes. And Vancouver's shot at tying this game, and their most important one, will happen then. And then we're going to have a bit of a wrestling match the rest of the way. And assuming nobody really breaks through and gets a lot of traffic in front of the net, which they haven't all night, we're going OT. That's my bet. My bet is we get a power play in the first 5 minutes. Vancouver scores. They've been pretty good on the power play, except for this game. They've been terrible. Actually, they haven't been good in many facets, to be honest. There's been, 5-10 minutes where the Canucks have been good. Otherwise, the Oilers have just dogged them. Completely outplayed them. I'd like to... Oh! Garland, then. Every time that Garland line is out there, something's happening. I'm calling it the Garland line because I think he's the best player on it right now. Lindholm's winning all the faceoffs, but let's be honest. Connor Garland, baby. So I think Vancouver gets 1, and then they tie it up. I think Vancouver ties this game. I think they ties this game. This game. 4-3 Edmonton with Ian Cole scoring every third period goal. I like that idea. 1911 1908 now. 1907 on the clock. I did say Evander Kane needs to score. I thought he was going to be the next one to score for Edmonton. NBA therapy, I would like to go to bed. Well, we'll see if it allows you to. I don't know. This isn't the first time Vancouver has been down 2 going into the third period. True. However, in that game, they looked a lot better. They did. They haven't looked great. All right, here we go. Gonna clap. Edmonton wins the face-off. Derek Ryan, who that fourth line has not seen a lot of ice time tonight, and nor should they. but you don't see the Derek Ryan, Connor Brown line very much. Not that they've been bad, but Janmark, Ryan, Connor Brown, not out there much. You see the Bluger line a lot more as far as fourth lines go. Zadorov pinches. Derek Ryan, Janmark, Connor Brown, all in, still on the ice. I thought they would have gone for a change. Nuh-uh. They're soaking up their ice time when they can get it. Oh, CC pinches, and it just squeaks out. Kulak gets it. Could have been an icing there, but goes right on the net. Hronek gets a little tied up behind the net. Out to Carlson. There's McLeod pulling it in. Haven't seen much of this line either. Have not seen them be enough of a factor. Corey Perry, you acquire him for the playoffs and the playoffs alone. Haven't seen him be the factor he needs to be. Maybe he hasn't been set up for it, but he was a real factor on like the power play in Tampa and was very, very good there. Was good for Montreal too. Man, he just ate the Leafs up. Bad memories. Haven't seen him do that for Edmonton yet, at least in this series. Oman pinning Kulak on the far boards. Quinn Hughes, it feels like Quinn Hughes is perpetually on the ice. He's never not playing. Doesn't sit down. And there's an icing call. And oh no, Carlson. Penalty. What happened? I missed this. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's a hold. Can't do that. That is a rookie mistake. You are in the offensive zone. This is, again, like I said with JT Miller in the first period, you can't bring this Edmonton power play out for something other than a scoring chance against. If you break up a scoring chance and you get a penalty and they were going to score, fine. Look at that power play stat. Edmonton is 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. How many shots have they had? 1. Because that's all they need. That's a stupid penalty in the offensive zone. You're a guy that just squeaked into the lineup. You can't be taking penalties like that. And now your big boys have got to burn their jets out, killing a penalty. By the way, I was right about one thing. Draisaitl. Whoa, that was sneaky. Shilov's had it, but boy, that was sneaky. There was a penalty called within the first 5 minutes. Just the wrong team. Got the wrong team. Somebody asked in the chat, and it just went away quickly. If Pickard gets the shutout in this game, who do you go with next game? Well, I think already, unless there's some crazy meltdown by the Oilers, and I'm talking like 6 goals against, Cal Pickard is the starter already for the next game. It's not even a question. I would be absolutely, unless he's injured, I'd be shocked. And that's the thing that can happen in the playoffs, man. You get down to your second or your third stringer. Vancouver knows this. And they start putting magic together for you, and there's no rhyme or reason, and you just have to ride the hot hand. JT Miller, Lindholm. Wow, 3 Canucks deep on the PK here. 1 shot, not bad. 1:20 left in the power play. Edmonton is currently out shooting Vancouver 25-15. Not great if you're Vancouver, killing a penalty and then trying to come back afterwards. Haven't really been in this game. It's been their worst game of the series. I would venture to say at this point, unless things change, this is their worst game of the playoffs. And I've seen every Vancouver game. Edmonton's looking like Edmonton. Aaron Grace, jokes on you, SDPN. My favorite team already loses when it matters. I'm assuming we have the same favorite team. Draisaitl in his office. Shilov's just, what was that? That was crazy. Wow, what a stretch to save that. How does a person's groin do that? Holy moly. Good save. He's keeping them in this game. They sure are not showing up for him. Zadorov with a good break up there. Draisaitl's just been on one tonight. And you could tell he's just exhausted and he's sore. And he's still making things happen. Man, the more you watch Draisaitl, you're like, damn, dude, pay him whatever he wants. Oh, what a save by Sheelovs. Whoa. Another toe save. That saved the game. That saved the game right there. If Vancouver gets back in this game, we'll be looking at that shot and going, it's a good thing he saved it. Wow. Edmonton could have had 2 goals on that power play. Easy. Elias Pettersson should be a healthy scratch next game. Yeah, I mean, I tried to kind of stick up for him in the Nashville series a little bit because I thought they were playing tight defense, and he's not been a factor. He's not. It's difficult, right? I hate to be like that, but it's 4 points in, this is his 10th game. 4 points, 1 goal. Remember, goals are more important than assists, kids. What the hell? It's crazy what's going on here. He must be hurt, but that really sucks because he played a full season and you just, Miller's got it deep. Suter behind. Out to Quinn Hughes, as you would expect. Quinn with a tip. Oh, Suter. How many times have been like Suter right there and he just misses it? The guy gets his scoring chance. Whoa. Besser just wired one and it didn't go on the net. Oh, Desharnais and Miller and now Nurse. Yeah, of course, they go right after him, 2-on-1. And Pew Suter's in there like, guys, stop. As if he's going to do something about it. You've got Kane, Desharnais, and Nurse on the ice. And then Corey Perry putting the stick up in Besser's face as though he's like the Connor McDavid. That's hilarious. So that's what you get Corey Perry for. Stuff like that. That was funny. That's creative. You have to be a pest to be a good pest in the NHL. To be a good rat, you got to be creative. I guess in Corey Perry's case, to be a good worm. Oh, Miller's pissed. And then Nurse is going to come over and hit him. And then Miller's going to hit. See, Nurse did a smart thing there. I know this sounds like really stupid, but he sees that JT Miller's frustrated. Look at this, Perry. That's a really funny thing that he just, Besser's about to laugh there. I think what Nurse did with JT Miller there was smart. He tried to goad him into a penalty. He knows Miller's pissed. And he's like, you know what? How about it's like a cat with a little bit of water at the end of the table. And it's like, you know how they just kind of go, you don't want me to do this? And then they do it. That's what they did. By the way, face off, 14-11 left in the third period. And Edmonton is getting one over. Corey Perry's getting cocky. If Vancouver doesn't get back in this game soon, I don't know. Oh, Hronek can't hold it at the line. Quinn Hughes is going to be playing every other shift with Phil Hronek literally the rest of the game. I think, almost a giveaway there, but okay. This Mikheyev line has had nothing going all night. Nothing. Part of me wonders, because you can't split up the third line. They've been great. I don't even know if I'd call them the third line at this point. Lindholm, Garland, can't split that up. That's been really good. Joshua. Mikheyev, Pettersson, Lafferty. They put Lafferty up there to get something going. I don't know, man. What do you do? How do you get Pettersson rolling? You kind of need him to just do it, don't you? I know you're saying that to me in the chat. He's the kind of player that needs to drive his own line, isn't he? If he's hurt, and that sucks. But he had a really good year this year. Playoffs are not looking great, and that extension kicks in. And he deserves it, by the way. But I can see why Vancouver fans are a little frustrated. SS, Nucks are coming back. Patrick Hamos, they are stinking right now. Wow, the two sides of Canucks fandom. Benjamin Johnson, get the lotto line back together. Okay, so let's say you do that, right? Just to get Pettersson going. You get them some shifts. who centers your third or your if you do that, instantly Joshua, Lindholm, and Garland become your second line. Who centers your third line? Do you put Teddy Bluger between Mikheyev and Lafferty? Do you put Suter with Bluger and Lafferty? Who plays center on that other line that isn't the fourth line? Pettersson, you need him to drive. I have to be honest, the guys they've stuck him with. I mean, I love Ilya Mikheyev, but there were so many times in Toronto where you'd be like, dude, he was like stone hands. And then he figured out in Toronto, and this is why he got the big deal in Vancouver, he figured out how to drive the net. And I have not seen him do that at all. He figured out how to drive the net with the puck, something that the Leafs just flat out do not do ever. And whenever they do, like Tavares had one in Boston, they actually score. And Mikheyev figured that out, and he scored a bunch of goals, and Vancouver gave him a good deal. And I just haven't seen him do it at all. Be helpful if he did. It would create some room for Pettersson. He could get open. Just not a factor. But this line has been Garland, Lindholm, Dakota Joshua. Really good line. Really solid. Garland's just had a great series. Oh, scores! Connor Garland. What'd I tell you? That guy's been buzzing all night long. A couple of games ago, that entire line had a goal. Lindholm, I believe, has points in every single game this series. Damn. Now the game gets interesting. 13:06 left in the third period if you're trying to align streams. And look at this. So it comes with Dakota Joshua. Nice little forecheck. Over to Connor Garland. Great with the puck. Zadorov just kind of keeps it in. Oh, great back pass by Lindholm. And Garland puts that puck in. Wow. And it looks like it goes off of Nurse and in. Which, I mean, you're a defenseman. It's going to happen. That just, it sucks, but that's part of playing defense. I'm surprised Connor Garland only has 2 goals this playoffs. He's been a real factor for this team, possession-wise. That's an offside. Vancouver immediately puts Miller, Besser, and Suter out there. And I think that they need to, because you got a little bit of momentum going. You really need your big boys to step up. You need JT Miller to make good on that stupid penalty in the first period that led to Leon Draisaitl's goal. You need to give him the chance to do that. You got to keep the momentum going. That's really the only other line that's got anything going. And obviously, no disrespect to Carlson, Bluger, and Oman, but Carlson took a stupid penalty. You're not expecting a lot of goals from those guys. I wonder if DiGiuseppe gets back into the lineup for next game, because I really liked him, and I think they're missing his speed a little bit. I know that he's a fourth liner, and we're debating fourth liners here, but that's what it comes down to in the playoffs. I liked his game. I'm not really sure why they took him out. I guess obviously they didn't like something about it. I almost wonder too, like they switched in DiGiuseppe for Suter a couple of times against Nashville with Miller and Besser. And I wonder if DiGiuseppe and Pettersson, could you put Mikheyev down on the fourth line like he's been? Could you put, or do you put Lafferty down and then you put DiGiuseppe in there with his speed? I don't know. Oh, Connor, I missed your super chat. I'm really sorry. I don't know what you asked, but please ask it again, and I will make sure I get to your super chat, my friend. Sorry about that. Mikheyev over. Pettersson. Oh, thought Bluger was going to get one there. This is real interesting. 11:33 left in the third period, ladies and gentlemen. Quinn Hughes is out there again because he's going to be out there the whole time. Quinn Hughes, Phil Hronek. Phil Hronek without a point in these playoffs only has like 3 points in his last 21 games, which is wild because he had such a great start to the year. Really had something cooking with Quinn Hughes. They need a point from him. Hey, SDPN chat, if you guys don't mind, just text me what Connor Cahill asked, because I haven't seen it, and if I miss it again, I feel bad. So please, if I ever miss a super chat, by the way, please, obviously, let me know. I never want to do that. Just text it to me, Justin, if you can. Hayden Matheson texted it to me. Can someone sit Petey down and tell him that he is losing half of his new salary and it's going to Shelov's $12 million? He makes Matthews look like a bargain. Well, Matthews is a bargain. Matthews is the best goal scorer of this generation. Like McDavid's a bargain. Like Draisaitl's a super bargain. Even McKinnon at $12.6 million, which is what he's making, McKinnon is a bargain. Or is he 11.6? 11.6? Yeah, McKinnon's a bargain. All these guys, these big level guys, like you go look at Dom's charts on player valuations, and some of them are a little bit wonky, but for the best players, relative to the productivity they bring to the team, they should be making like $16 million based on what they bring. But obviously they won't, because that would hamstring the team. Especially McDavid, man. McDavid, Draisaitl, those guys should be like $36 million between the two of those guys. I love Matthews, but I don't know about a bargain. I don't know. Not many other players that get the same goals per game. There's got to be a way to calculate that. Like, would you divide their salary by 82 games and their goals and points by 82 games and then come out with a number? And then that's kind of a basic number of like, well, it's goals per game, points per game, and then money per game, which nobody calculates. That should be a stat. 9:15 left. I know Matthews didn't have a great thing, but he was sick and hurt. No excuse. The Leafs keep losing. I'm not making excuses for them. Let's see Petey get something here. Hey, can I? Quick question, guys. Who's scoring next? Are the Oilers going up 3-1? Or is Vancouver tying this? There's 8:42 left. Pettersson line out there. Offensive pressure. Vancouver's looked so much better in this period, and I think it's Hughes is out there all the time. Pettersson, shoot the puck. Shoot it faster than that. Oh, a little bit of a post there. This is good. This is good. This is a good shift for the Pettersson line. Whoa! Roenick on the net. That was a big whoa. Whoa! Wow. Canucks, good ozone pressure here. Pettersson setting up. Over to Garland. Oh! Pettersson holds the line. Whoa, boy. This is a nail biter for the Oilers. 8 minutes to go exactly. Zadorov. Oh. Connor Garland out there. He's already got one goal. This line has looked really good. And once you got that second line going, now Vancouver feels like they're really in this game. There's Garland working his way around Desharnais. Desharnais just coming at him with his big arms. Bouchard out there on Dakota Joshua. Whoop! Good little shot by Garland. Joshua getting into it in front of the net. This is what I can't stand. There's clearly a fight in front of the net. There's clearly a tussle, and they turn the camera to the guy skating to the bench. Let's not do that. It's a scrum. It's the playoffs. SS Oilers starting to wilt. Pettersson. Oh, man, Pickard. Good save. Still, I think he should have shot sooner. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think you should have given Pickard a chance to set up. Look at me, the non-athlete, criticizing everybody. Pettersson will get it going, guys. He got it going. See, Connor Cahill called out Pettersson. And Connor, you got a good shift from him. He heard you. He heard you. Manifesting a PD goal to tie it. I'm liking the Nucks right now. Mooseless, non-athlete. I know, we're so critical, and I'm like, I'm so bad at this. Do you think we could see a player get max 20% with Draisaitl, McDavid possibly hitting free agency in the next couple of years? Aaron Grace? No. The reason I say no is that hockey players do understand that there has to be players to play with them. And even though it is unfair, and mathematically it makes sense for guys that are that good to do that, the risk that you incur, and as a player, just the criticism. Imagine Connor McDavid signs at 20% of the cap and he has an off season. I know it's Connor McDavid, but still. Even in Edmonton, people will be like, dude, Connor, you had to get the extra money. You had to get the extra couple mil. You had to have that. It's something that you got to think about. Like, you know, I think the player that I would look at specifically with this is Marner. Now, he pushed for the absolute maximum amount of money and probably was overpaid. Not probably, was overpaid, but the Leafs thought, okay, over time, this contract will make much more sense. And then COVID and all that stuff. And, you know, it never panned out because the cap never went up. But my point in this is fans are not stupid, and they'll give you a hard time every time you have a bad game. Mitch Marner had 99 points last year. Do you think any Leaf fan really cares? No, he's still the guy that pushed for every dime and made them wait and hasn't got it done in the playoffs. Sometimes you just don't want that kind of smoke. Sometimes you want to be like, yeah, I could have taken that, but I took less instead because I'm here for you, the fan. And I'll buy that. I'll eat that alive. It's delicious. Delicious. So yeah, no, I don't think that they'll do that. And also, you got to remember with McDavid, he can make a lot of money. He can make all that money up in endorsements. And in endorsements, you don't have to pay escrow to the league. Imagine you were making money at your job, and every paycheck, your business, the business you're working for, you don't own this business, takes your money, okay, and holds it in an escrow account, and then says, we have to wait till the end of the year to make sure that both sides made enough money here. That's what NHL players have to do. They make their money, but they get sometimes as high as 10%, maybe not that high, but pretty high. Actually, it's been as high as 15%, held back by the league so that they can make sure that both sides split it 50-50 evenly. Kind of a weird imbalance, huh? .545. 29-18 of the shots in Edmonton's favor. Hello, hi, yes to the person from Wormtown has arrived. I am jealous of the Oilers' first overall picks that just got wasted before they got a good one. Yeah. It's hard, though. Like, I mean, I think the one that's most egregious for the Oilers is Yakupov because it was the owner that made the call, and the scouting staff didn't want to go that direction. They wanted somebody else. Also, it was at a weird time when, like, everybody was like, you got to remember, like, didn't Branson go, like, third that year or a year next to it or whatever? Like, it was a big switch in how we looked at drafting, where they used to draft like, well, he's big. He's not great at hockey, but he's big. They look at it a lot differently now. And I think the Oilers pro scouting staff would be a lot different about that now. Vancouver's looks so much better in this period. Like, it's crazy the difference. Where was this in the first two? We could have had a game. This was the boring game. Oh, we got a breakaway. Evander Kane, Sheloff's out with the poke check. What? That is a European goalie being aggressive. North American goalies don't do that. That's a Euro goalie. Euro goalies do that. Evander Kane just had a breakaway stolen by the goaltender. That was high risk, high reward. And what if he'd even missed the puck? He didn't, though. He didn't. Sheloff, man. They're going to build a stat. They got to name a school after this guy. Wow. Sometimes if you're a goaltender, you don't need to tend the goal. Sometimes you need to tend the breakaway. That was a cool play. You don't see that a lot. Whoop. Hyman. A little bit of pressure here by Edmonton. You can tell that they're playing a little more defensive, but McDavid is still out there. Garland with a shot block. There he is being useful again. Have a bit of a man crush on Connor Garland. Myers, Zadorov are out there. You can tell because they're gigantic. And there's Connor Garland being tiny and shifty. There we go. Juleson's out there giving Quinn Hughes a bit of a breather. You know, it's great that Quinn Hughes is in his early 20s because he can do this all night. And you can probably do that until you're in your mid-30s, and then you just can't do that anymore. He's been everywhere tonight. Good another shift here for the Pettersson line. They need this. Carlson up with them. That's interesting. I guess it just wasn't working out with Lafferty. If you're a goaltender, tend center ice. I like that. I'm gonna see if I can remember. I'll get Steve to say that tomorrow. Very true. But couldn't you see the Blackhawks, for example, going to Leon and offering him the max, and on paper you're just giving him $14 million plus the Foligno contract? Yes, I can. I totally can see the Blackhawks going in and saying, "You want to play with another generational guy, Leon? How about Connor Bedard?" And then it's up to Leon Draisaitl, right? Like, what would he want to do? And I'm sure he and Connor McDavid will have a conversation this summer about this. If they're not going to, they should. Because at the end of the day, if either of them leave, you are giving up a pretty special partnership, right? Like, if you leave, you're probably never going to be reunited again. And you have to think long and hard about that. You might never be with a player as skilled as either of you. Like, they're 1 and 2 in the NHL, for my money. Pretty hard to split that up. Pretty hard to walk away from that, isn't it? Especially if your team's like a goalie away. They could probably rebuild their second and third pairs on defense, Edmonton. But if you can find another goalie who is a significant upgrade on Stuart Skinner, and you keep Skinner as the guy that plays 35 games a year, I mean, the Oilers are still a cup contender for 3 or 4 more years at least. You got to try. Canucks are still going to win in 6, whether they win or lose tonight. JoJo Wilson, big prediction. What about Chicago? McDavid, Draisaitl, Bedard. They would have nobody else playing for them. Everybody else is on league min. Rocky Zim, Markstrom. I don't know if Calgary's they're playing coy with Markstrom. Typical Calgary fashion. Whenever you talk about Calgary, you have to talk about how involved the owner is. He's reportedly very involved, and they really messed up the Markstrom relationship. He did not want to waive the no trade. They go to him, they go, "Please waive your no trade," and then they don't get the deal done. And he was pissed, and he talked about it. And I think that relationship can be mended, but I also think will it ever be the same? You can say sorry, but you never really forget, right? Empty net, by the way, with the Vancouver Canucks. But I just wonder if they probably wouldn't trade him to Edmonton unless it was a king's ransom, is my point. 2:15 left in the third. We got a face-off in the offensive zone. Are we going to ignore that Bedard was minus 44 this year? Of course we are. Who cares? It's plus minus. Blackhawks are terrible. Look at Simon Benoit. No, I'm not comparing him to Bedard, but his numbers were garbage with the Anaheim Ducks. Comes to Toronto. Has a great year. Finds a home. Advanced numbers all of a sudden good. Why? Because he was on a good team. Okay, here we go. 2:13. There's a face-off. Vancouver wins. 6 men on the ice. Respect that they started with 6 men on the ice, that they didn't pull the goalie back off. Oh, Nice little shot from Quinn Hughes. I love this camera angle that Sportsnet had. You were seeing that shot tipped and everything. It was fun. Lindholm there. Edmonton is all over Vancouver. They are really aggressive on this, using their skating. Oh, gloved by Pickard. 147 left in the third. Yeah, plus minus doesn't really count on bottom dwelling teams and rookies. Well, I would just kick it to bottom dwelling teams. Most advanced stats that are publicly available on super bad teams, like San Jose, nobody's going to look good on San Jose, but there are good players on San Jose. The privately available stats that are far more sophisticated will give you a better understanding, but you have to spend a lot of money to get them. So you do what you can with the publicly available ones. These excuses for Bedard are laughable. Man, are you calling out Bedard? He's like 18. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be okay. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Macklin Celebrini on the freaking Sharks, man. They're not good either. Okay, we got a timeout from Vancouver, 147 to go. Rocky's in, Bedard is amazing. No, I don't think he is. Did you see that he was minus 44? Garbage. Crap. You know what? They should give him back. They should just send him back. All right. 147 to go in the game. Can Vancouver tie this baby up? Calvin Pickard's been real good. Edmonton's defense has been real good in front of him. This is going to be big. It's going to be a big game, big little Pettersson on the faceoff draw. This is the biggest faceoff of the series so far, and Pettersson needs to win this. He does win it. Besser back to Hughes to Besser. Oh, and they score! Who did that go off of? Besser on a funny angle. I can't tell if it went off of one of the Vancouver players or one of the Edmonton players, but if it does go off an Edmonton defenseman, that's the second time today a Vancouver goal has been scored off of a tip by an Edmonton defenseman. Brock Besser, who's been absolutely stellar. You know, it's a shame. Here we go. We're gonna have a look at it. Did it go off of somebody? Besser, let's slow it down. Goes off of Desharnais. It looks like it goes off of Dakota Joshua's skate. Or is it Darnell? I think it goes off of one of the Vancouver skates. That might be a Lindholm one. I also have to say that damn, that was great. Man, I guess we're going to overtime, guys. Brock Besser. Okay, so they're crediting the goal to Brock Besser right now, although they did that last game too, and then they gave it to Lindholm later. Brock Besser's performance in Game 3 was really overshadowed by Soucy's cross-check to McDavid's teeth, and I get it. You know, that was the biggest thing in the game. But Brock Besser has been spectacular for the Canucks in this series. He wasn't great for the first two periods tonight, but the whole team was bad. Here we go. So Hughes, Besser, shot. I think it goes off of Dakota Joshua, but I could be wrong. Oh no. Yeah, no, it's Dakota Joshua's heel. Yeah, they're gonna change that call, but even so, Besser's been great. Nice play. And you know what I like about the Canucks? They throw the puck at the net and they get bodies to the net. Wouldn't that be great? Couldn't be my team. Couldn't be. Wow. 1:03 left in the third period. Evander came with a huge hit on Philip Roenick. This game isn't over. There's still 55 seconds. Oh, Edmonton keeps it in. The big boys are out. Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl. Out to the point to Bouchard. Oh, the Edmonton Oilers score with less than 50 seconds to go. Evan Bouchard. Holy smokes, 38.1 seconds on the clock. And we got a big Game 4 potential winning goal from Evan Bouchard, potentially tipped. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, baby. Oh, wow. Wow. More like Heaven Bouchard. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So this all starts with Evander Kane crushing Phil Hronek. The Canucks are playing a little slow on the defensive side. Wow, that shot just beat Shilov's. That is just a straight up good shot. Bit of a knuckler, like a bit of a wobble to it. Shilov sees it the whole way. Wow. That is a heartbreaker for the Canucks and an absolute lightning bolt for the Edmonton Oilers. Wow. Wow. Guys, what a game tonight. The first two periods we could have gone without, but the third period's been spectacular. All right, here we go. 30 seconds to go for the Vancouver Canucks. Shilov racing off the ice. Here we go. Is it going to be enough time for Vancouver to turn this around? Boy, they are going to kick themselves after this game if they can't tie it up here. But this is the playoffs, baby. You gotta be playing every second of every game. That is Edmonton being a veteran team going, I don't care that you just scored. We're going to turn it back on you. That is what a vet team that has been there before does. Edmonton Oilers win the game, and they win it with 38.1 seconds to go on an Evan Bouchard goal. And by the way, like 20 seconds earlier, the Canucks had tied it. It's going to be a party tonight in Edmonton. That is going to be a memorable game. Edmonton's big players showed up tonight. You had a big goal from Draisaitl in the first. You had a big goal from Evan Bouchard to finish out the game. Everybody who needed to show up for Edmonton today did. And let me just say this. Cal Pickard, as much as Edmonton's defense was fantastic in front of him, deserves a ton of credit. He had a shutout going into the third period. It's his first start in the playoffs ever. His parents are there. You saw them on TV swearing when that puck went in to tie it up by 2. And his team does the right thing and gets him the win that he so richly deserves. That has got to be one of the coolest moments of his life. Wow. I am really, really excited to see what happens in Vancouver on Thursday night. And by the way, Thursday night is tomorrow night for me because it's already 12:19 a.m. here. Wow. Mark P., this is what happens when you quit playing. The other guys will score with less than a minute to play. Mark P., that's the Leafs playbook, man. And you know what? The Canucks did. You let the Oilers gain the zone with the best line in hockey. Damn. Edmonton, I'm thrilled for you. Vancouver, I've so been there. And I feel for you. I know the feel. But here's what you need to do, okay? If you're the Vancouver Canucks, you need to go home. You need to punch the pillow on your bed, in your hotel bedroom, and just get mad. Unless you're flying home tonight. You might be flying home tonight. You need a moment. You need to go online. You need to play a little Call of Duty. You need to just wreck somebody at Call of Duty. Get angry. Get it out. And remember this feeling. Remember this feeling. Because every single game in this series has been decided by one goal. One goal. And it's those extra few seconds of effort and of time that make it all worth it. And Vancouver just learned a lesson tonight. Edmonton played a great game. They really did. That was a veteran Edmonton Oilers team saying, nope, we're going to win tonight. They won the first period. They won the second period. It's difficult to hold a lead. I get it. Vancouver played great in the third because they're a great team. That is a veteran move by the Edmonton Oilers. They did not lose focus. They did not get down. There was no bad body language. They just got right back to work. Took care of business. Wow. I got to tell you, that was a pleasure to watch. That was awesome. God. This was so much fun. So here's the deal. You and me, how about we meet back here Thursday night? We got the Vancouver Canucks. We got the Edmonton Oilers in Vancouver for Game 5. This series is tied up. I feel like it's going 7. Don't you? Just kind of feels like it's going 7. Just kind of feels like it's going 7. I'm going to let my team get home because they're all exhausted. And we're going to see you. We're going to see you on Thursday. All right? We're going to have a great time. Really enjoyed this. Love that you guys keep coming back. I'm seeing a lot of the same names come back. Absolutely awesome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the team. Justin, Robert, I know you're in that chat too. And Hayden, thank you for an awesome, awesome night. Guys, we'll see you. This series just got real interesting. And I can't wait for the media in Vancouver and Edmonton, which have been so unhinged, to go at it for the next couple of days. And by the way, guess who makes his return for Game 5? That's right. Cross-check to the teeth man, Carson Soucy. Have a great night. We'll see you Thursday night. Take care.